are live.
Hello and welcome. I'm Nosh, and today we are playing a one-shot wonder called The Festering Locusts of Fenmore, Horror on the Frontier of the French and Indian War by J.C. Connors. And if you are sitting comfortably, then we are going to begin.
What if we're not comfortable?
Well then,
Standing.
Are you standing? We'll stand for 4 hours. I'm impressed. So I'm going to begin by setting the scene, unless anybody has something they want to discuss before I kick off.
It's not called the French and Indian War.
Yes, it is.
Our first debate. Okay.
Depends on where you're from.
It's the late summer of 1758. And I'll punch up a map for you to see.
Yep, that's a map.
Excellent. And our story opens in the colonial frontier north of Albany at a British trading settlement named Wood Creek, some 7 or 8 miles northeast of the Hudson River. And it is a time of intercolonial conflict as the British and French fight for domination in the colonies of North America, pitching one another and their indigenous allies into war. Poor farmers and fur trappers eke out a living from the land even as conflict flares up around them. And this evening, you find yourselves in a hall and parlor log house near Wood Creek. And it is time for a traditional Sunday supper where several local families gather for a meal and socialize. And tonight's sup consists of boiled stew, apple dumplings, and something called pop robins, which are flour and egg balls boiled in milk. Talk at the table invariably drifts to the ongoing war, the price of flax, the price of beaver and deerskin, and the occasional family scandal in nearby Saratoga. And at this point, I'm going to invite the players to introduce their characters. And let's start with Nathan.
All right. One moment. All right. Nathan is a colonial farmer. He has crops of flax that are growing. This year looks to be a good year for the crop. He plans to do well, and if he does so, he'll fix his house, put a new roof on, and hopefully expand his crop such that he can hire some people to help work the property. He has served in the colonial militia, but he has no love for the war at all. During that time, he did lose a finger in the Battle of Carillon.
Excellent. Can we move on to the next?
Who's the next?
Let's go to Duncan.
I was in the process of looking up a thing. Damn it, I wasn't ready.
I should also note that Abby is Nathan's sister.
Abby, are you ready?
Sure, I'll give it a shot. Okay. Seated next to Nathan at whatever table they are at for this dinner is his sister, Abby. Abby has a bit of an independent streak. She's 23 years old, and even though still somewhat on the younger side, as soon as her brother and her dear cousin Jacob gallivanted off with the militia, she basically took over and ran the entire household while they were gone. Without him there to basically tell her everything to do, she just kind of improvised. And with her intuition and outdoorsman skills, she made a lot of big changes and not only improved the state of their family crops on their own land, but she actually improved the state of all the crops for other settlers in the area. So she earned a little bit of notoriety and is now known as the sharpest person in Wood Creek.
He's
Excellent.
better than you are, Nathan.
It's always the way. She was always Mum and Dad's favorite.
And she also takes a good number of opportunities to needle Nathan about that as well, seeing as he's her brother.
And there's a lovely image of Abby.
There wasn't a lovely image of Nathan.
It's
That's
because
because Nathan's not lovely.
Yeah.
There's one of Nathan.
Which one was the girl?
Oh,
And there's Duncan.
wow,
Duncan, are you
old.
Duncan?
He
You
is
old
old.
fart. Are you old fart? Are you ready to go?
But don't tell him he's old. Yeah, Duncan McIntosh is a 72-year-old cranky Scotsman who fled the Isles for the New World and is a landowner here. Yeah, he was so he was in the Battle of Culloden and was looking to live a life of peace here in the colonies until a new war broke out.
With the bloody French.
And he kind of wishes the English would get their ass kicked.
Oh man, we're gonna have to look at the Scotsman with suspicion.
Anything else from Duncan?
I don't think I missed anything, did I?
I don't think so. Thank you. And now over to our true Englishman, Newt.
Jolly good. Newt Pepperell is the son of the Baronet of Boston. He is active duty Royal Army. He is the assistant to the regimental surgeon, and he is very likely a little tipsy here because he likes his drink. He was, let's see, he was at the Battle of Carillon, but they have the War Office has instructed him to tend to colonial settlements for 6 months for returning to duty at Fort Anne, which he's pretty fine with because, well, less likely to get shot at, and the colonials generally have a healthy supply of cider.
Nice. Anything to add?
He does not like it when people call him Newton.
There you go. All right. Well, those are our characters. And now we're going to get them to do a little banter around the table as people are getting ready to dig into their meal. I'm going to drop some banter cards into for each PC.
This will be interesting.
All right. Let's see if I can do this correctly.
And you got to make sure it doesn't sound like we're reading it.
Oh man,
Right.
I was totally gonna monotone it.
All right. Let's see if I can get this done correctly.
yeah, Newt's gonna be slurring all of his.
Oh yeah, he's at least tipsy, I think. -1 Dex, -1 IQ, -2 to self-control, except cowardice. But luckily, he's not a coward.
All right, I think I dropped those to everyone successfully. So, well, let's start with Duncan, and just read one statement, and then we'll move to the next person.
Oh, okay, I see. Why are we drinking cider? We should be drinking whiskey.
Oh, that sounds like something Newt could respond to.
Is there brandy today? Fort Anne has been out for months.
Abby?
Let's see. I heard Fort Edward has a new commander, General Lyman. The troops have a lot of faith in him after the disaster earlier in the summer.
Nathan?
I don't understand why we're involved in a war started by two kings across the ocean.
Oh, well put. Oh, that sounds like something Newt might interject over.
I just hope nobody needs any actual medical attention. I'm not exactly licensed, just like every other surgeon in the Army.
Duncan, you got a retort to that?
I say the British deserve to lose this war. All the commanders are paper skulls. The loss at
Oi.
Carolyn was insanity. We outnumbered the French 5-1 and still lost.
Oh, Nathan, does that get your ire up?
After the British defeat at Fort Carillon, it's lucky the French haven't swept through the valley yet.
Oh, Abby, anything to say on that?
Well, it's been 3 months since the French have been seen south of Fort Carillon. Maybe the war is winding down.
Newt, what do you think?
Newt's a little tipsy and is going to change the subject. Like, well, I'll be happy to play a little music for us after supper.
And now I'm going to let it go for a free-for-all. I have no idea how many points are left in each of your cards.
So at the mention about playing a tune, Abby's going to get kind of a really nervous look on her face, like, oh no, not his drunk playing again, and just shift it away to Sunday suppers in Wood Creek are my favorite. So many good friends here today.
Where are they? They're hiding under the table.
Good job. I have no idea what you said.
Now
It's a perfect Scottish accent.
you have to do that voice all through the adventure.
How'd you wished?
This is going to be
Nathan.
great. He's going to be
Nathan will pull at his
Right.
shirt. It's been a hot summer. I should have replaced my roof.
All right. Any other banter points that got missed?
The humidity is a beast today. I'd water the horses again after supper, and everyone drink some more water as he drinks some more cider.
I hear Fort Anne is rebuilding their walls. They've hired Mohawks to keep the colonials safe while they work in the woods.
And if that is everything, we'll continue. Unless you want to interject your own banter points, which I know you all do very well.
So that's a no on the music?
So, just as everyone gets seated at the large tables, and just as one of the community elders stands to say a grace over the meal, there's a loud knock at the door, and the owner of the cabin gets up, walks over, opens the door, and there standing in the door frame is Jacob Fenmore. Throw up an image here. He doffs his hat and apologizes for being unexpected and late for supper. He's a young man in his mid-20s, and you are familiar with him. You know he's impulsive, he's loyal to his family, and he's very brave. He's dressed handsomely in his neat but worn red coat, and everyone sort of get up and move towards him and embrace him, and he's especially looks hopeful or somewhat relieved, maybe, as he sees his cousins.
Okay, so Abby will, as soon as she looks towards the door and sees it, she'll let out a Jacob and hop up from where she's seated and like run over and tackle hug him.
Abby, oh Abby, so good to see you.
Oh, come in, come sit with us.
Yes, please.
I brought any brandy.
So she'll drag him over to the table and like unceremoniously start shoving Nathan further down the bench to make room for Jacob.
Nathan will shuffle. So Jacob, is this war at an end anytime soon?
I don't think so. I don't think so at all. How's the, and he kind of reaches over and puts his hand on your shoulder.
It's fine.
It was a bloody mess is what it was.
I got a shilling says it lasts 7 years.
Well, let's hope not.
Nah, it'll be over in 5.
So as you tie into the stew and the pop robins, Jacob explains his unexpected visit. And here we go. General Abercrombie up at Fort George offered me a commission to winter up there. We're gathering troops up north, so he needs folks familiar with the area to keep an eye out for French Rangers. There's 4,000 French soldiers up at Garyon, and no doubt they'll come south soon. I was allowed to leave to tell my family that I wouldn't be returning until the spring, and also to tell them that it'd be wise for them to relocate to Saratoga. I don't like the idea of my father and sister all by themselves west of Wagon Road. Unfortunately, when I knocked on my father's cabin, I found that 2 of them were gone. I waited for a few days, but they didn't come back. It's possible they're resupplying in Saratoga, or maybe trapping west of the Hudson. I'm due back at the Fort George in 2 days. I'm hoping one of you fellows could visit my father Enoch in a few days' time and tell him my news. And then, as he says that, he kind of lowers his head and then looks to his cousins on the other side and says, I hate to impose, but dear cousins, would you be able to at least deliver something to him for me? I just don't want your uncle and your cousin out there when the raiders come south.
Oh, yes, of course. What is it?
I want you to just check on them. I want you to see if they're safe, and if you can find them, if they're there, if you could just deliver them a letter for me, and please do your best to encourage them to go to Saratoga. I mean, perhaps my words won't be convincing enough.
Of course, we can only try, but if he doesn't want to go, then we can't force him.
No, I understand. You know how stubborn he is. And actually, Jacob's father Enoch is a rather well-known industrious trapper who is known in the area. He's always preferred to live in remote areas, better to trap valuable beavers with less competition. It's generally known that he's a bit of a curmudgeon and has a reputation for being a shrewd negotiator. And it's also known that Jacob's younger sister, Clara, has received many offers of marriage in the region, but she's refused to move away from her father until the war has ended. So as the supper winds down, Jacob will reach into his coat and pull out a letter. It's sealed with a bit of sealing wax, and he'll hand it to Abby.
Thank you. We'll see that we can get this message to him, and she'll tuck it in her bag.
Thank you so much, dear cousin. This is a relief to me. You have no idea. So, anyone who's got a sort of local area knowledge of the region, if you wish, you could certainly make an open area knowledge roll to recall something about where the homestead is.
All right. First roll of the
Gonna be
night.
like that today. Interesting.
She is better than Nathan.
Aha. It's probably just that Nathan's had a bit too much to drink at lunch or supper
Oh,
tonight.
right. Yeah. Mine should have been at least -1.
However, you do recall, both Abby and old Duncan, that Fenmore's homestead is located about 15 miles west of Wood Creek. There's no direct road to Fenmore's house, though the main roads will take travelers about half the way there, and then it's a straight shot along the Hudson River.
I know you'd die. Dinna fetch, lad. We'll go fetch him.
And you kind of know that the trip typically is about a 10-hour trek, perhaps sometimes longer, depending on whether there are streams that are sort of overflooded or other obstacles on the way. And if you wish, exactly, what did the Scot say? And if you would like anyone who's got current affairs, you can certainly make an open roll.
Yes. -1. Damn it. I'm going to get this at some point.
So Newt, in your goings around the region on your duties, you recall, of course, that the French have pulled their soldiers back to Fort Carillon about a year ago, and they haven't been seen in the area for a while. But what you do know is that Shawnee or Lenape raiders, allied with the French, attacked a small settlement west of Lake George over the summer.
The bloody natives attacked. Should be fine. Maybe. Yes, he will, in a slurry voice, will relate as much of that as he can.
And at this point, the evening is yours to do as you wish, although people are sitting about, drinking, enjoying the fire, and some are starting to head home to their little cabins.
That was a waste.
Well done.
On the bright side, that means I'm not going to try to start a party. Okay, now I'm trying to figure out how do I get Newt into the expedition to go there, because he does strike me as rather indolent.
Abby will look at Nathan and say, So, are we going to be leaving in the morning to go check on Uncle?
I think that's best. It's too late to leave now. We'll
Uncle,
leave. We'll leave at first light.
Uncle, he owes me money.
What?
Nathan will nod, not quite understanding what he said.
That's going to be a recurring thing. Although, to be fair, we're all speaking British, so all of us could have some interesting accents.
Yeah, mine will probably warble and change over the night. So what, if anything, would you like to do for the evening, aside from sit, drink, chat, or would you like to simply move things towards the morning?
Newt, perhaps you'd like to come with us, just in case things are a little dangerous.
I don't know. There's a lot of stuff going on here. I have to look up Disad.
Abby will kind of snarkily say to Nathan, it's probably best he does come with us. A few dunks in a cold stream on the way might sober him up.
Nathan will just sort of nod subtly.
Oh, this is going to be interesting. I have never played a character who has the indecisive Disad.
Excellent.
So he's going to waffle back and forth a lot.
Oh, good. Maybe we need to get some
Woo!
influencing going on.
Wow, this is even worse in combat. This is a brutal Disad in combat. You have to make a self-control roll every second in combat until you make up your mind. And it's like if you reduce that self-control roll down to something rough like 6, that means you could be like sitting there doing nothing because you can't make up your damn mind.
Interesting disadvantage.
Jacob will walk over to Newt and say, I would very much appreciate it if you would go in to check on my father. I mean, in the rare chance he's been injured, or perhaps my dear sister's been injured, you would be of great value. And I could certainly pass on at the fort your good gestures.
Well, yeah, I suppose. Man, this is going to be really hard for me because I'm usually, these kind of things is like I usually play characters and go, "Yep, let's do that." But I
Nathan,
was told to go elsewhere, so actually I have no idea what his current duties are.
Nathan has diplomacy. He's going to try and negotiate with Newt. Is there any loyalty or anything like that? Loyalty bonuses? Since we're friends and such?
Yes, that's a good question. I also wonder if perhaps we should put a modifier in there because his brain's a little foggy.
That means if he wishes to resist it, then it would be at minus whatever penalty for being drunk.
Tipsy.
Actually, it does say something about your inhibitions when intoxicated. I think your will is -1.
Nope. Self-control rolls are at -2, except for cowardice at tipsy.
Well, I'm going to say throw a +2 on your influence roll because of loyalty.
Just as well.
I bet Abby's better at it than you are.
Of course she is.
She actually doesn't have that one.
She's still probably better at it than he is.
What's the default for it?
I don't know.
It's will -5 or IQ -5, something like that.
Oh, yeah. Not going to be good.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, go ahead.
I really think it would be good if we had Newt is a military man, isn't he?
Sort of, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he doesn't look like he's got any rank. No, wait, he does have rank. It's a surgeon's mate.
Look, I do think it'd be good if we had a military man there, and if there is someone injured, your skills are definitely going to come in handy. Please, Newt, come with us.
And Jacob says, besides which, my father, he also enjoys a good drink. I'm sure he would have perhaps something to wet your whistle when you arrive, and maybe even to pack you off with something.
I could stand to hear a little more. Yes, so he succeeded on the diplomacy, so I don't see any reason why Newt would necessarily dispute this. It's going to be really interesting the first time we get into combat, and he goes, oh God, I don't have any weapons.
Well, we'll say the evening passes. Newt continues to drink. Folks perhaps crash at the cabin. And in the early morning, Jacob gets up and hugs Abby a farewell and just reminds her that the letter to his father explains the situation, the trade in Saratoga, and other family matters. Does that mean Newt busted a string?
No, it's just, it probably sounded terrible.
And so at some point in the early evening,
Great.
somebody starts to strangle a cat, but you realize it's just Newt poorly playing his violin. And just because of that, why don't we just everyone take 1 fatigue point, because you're not getting any sleep with his nonsense.
Yikes.
So the morning comes, Jacob departs, and you are left with his sealed letter and a very hungover Newt Pepper.
Hey, stop talking so loud.
Do we have horses, wagons, or is this on foot?
This is on foot.
Oh, dear God.
Quick technical question. How do I modify my fatigue points?
On the combat tab,
Thank you very much.
you can hold down, I think it's Control and then mouse wheel to scroll it, or you can just type it in.
It's the little one.
It's been that long, Mel.
Yeah, it has.
It
I don't
has
think
been.
I don't think she played an FGU. It was straight core, right?
Yep.
Well, we had this functionality in Classic.
I don't remember this functionality in Classic. I think you're lying to me. But then I am drunk, so.
I
Oh wait,
can't
no, that's
remember.
Newt's drunk.
I can't remember what I did last week, and we're talking about stuff that was like 3 weeks ago. It's gone.
Fair enough.
All right. So you all wake up a little worse for the horrible violin playing. I don't know if Newt tried to sing, but
No, he
thankfully
doesn't sing.
the horrible violin playing drowned it out.
No, he doesn't look like he has the singing skills. So
So the
Great, great.
the most efficient way to get to Fenmore's homestead is to travel south along the road to Fort Edward, and then north along Wagon Road, and then cut west along the Hudson. So does anyone have navigation?
Nathan does. He
Dare
knows
we
his way
try?
around.
Do we try a navigation roll?
Before we leave, we have a little bit where Duncan's running around asking everybody, "Anybody see me at?" And he's wearing his
What?
hat on his head.
Oh no.
You can't where
What?
my hat is.
You mean the one that's on your head?
So can I roll for cooking breakfast? Just because I want to see how epically she fails at making coffee or whatever.
Oh yes, I think that would be awesome.
Duncan has 11 in nav, so you may be
It's
a
bacon and
reasonable
eggs.
backup.
It's passable.
Well, look at that. Wonderful.
I got an 11
It's
in-
not burned.
in land nav.
Yeah.
Can-
Adam's
I guess we got a couple of
nav, too.
backups.
Can Nathan complement his navigation roll with an area knowledge?
Very much so. Yes.
Apparently not. He remembers a bridge over one of the creeks, but he forgot that it got washed out, last winter.
So with that, yeah, go
So
ahead.
that'll
and
be a
make
-1. So
All right.
failed by 2.
Does anyone else have navigation?
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Maybe your sister can best you at this.
Of course she can.
Oh my.
Dear brother, don't you remember about that bridge that got washed out? Why are you taking us this way?
Oh, I'm sorry, I completely forgot. That's right.
He was at battle. Perhaps he's just a little groggy.
My mind is on other things. As
So-
always, you're here to come to the rescue.
She'll look like she's about to snap back a report, and then her eyes kind of flicker down to his mangled hand, and she'll just kind of give him a nod, and her expression softens, like she's still kind of sad for what happened to him.
Why is the sun so bright?
And why is it already so hot? It's only 6. So with your successful navigation roll, you can make the trip in about 12 hours.
That seems like a really long
all
time.
day.
However, if everyone in the group would like to make a hiking roll
What is
or
this
health
like?
-5, you can cut down some time.
Ha! Ha ha ha!
Ooh, she does not have hiking, so HT -5.
That's right.
Mhm.
Of course I've got it. I'm in the army. And clearly
Wow.
Oh no, here we go. Does she like sprain an ankle or something?
Awesome. Here we go. So what we'll say is that because of the absolute critical failure, that trip has now extended to 14 hours because of getting yourself let's say flopped down through a massive hole that you didn't see when you were walking, and while it hasn't injured you, it was enough to cause a hurt that you just needed to take some time, and the good doctor suggested that you just not stand on it for a while, maybe because he also just wanted to drink.
What are you talking about? Look at my hiking roll. I made it. I was fine. But I do kind of want to have a drink. I may offer her a drink as well. It's only brandy.
She will refuse.
Right? One for me and one for you.
I think that's one for you, one for you.
Eh.
So if that's about a 14-hour hike and you left, say, around 6 o'clock, what does that put us in terms of arrival?
Tomorrow. Sleeping outdoors.
It would be, if we left at 6, then it'd be at 8 p.m.
8 p.m. So you can make the choice whether you want to, make camp and continue. Perhaps we'll leave it to Abby to decide if the ankle or the shin is just a little too painful to walk on.
She's not proud or anything that would, have her insist that they keep going and that she's fine. So can I make like some kind of role that would, give her like knowledge to say whether it would be a good idea to keep going until they're actually at a proper shelter with a proper fire, or if it would be better to stop and camp for the night. She does have an intuition.
Ooh, you have intuition. Okay. Your
And she
intuition.
remember to use it.
Exactly.
She also has survival woodlands, so that might substitute for that. I don't know. Up to you.
Good question. So let's see here. I'm going to make a secret IQ roll for you.
Or you could just have her roll that IQ in the box, which serves the same.
Ooh, I like that even better because we have the box feature.
Yep, and that's always a help. I wish I had the box feature at the tabletop sometimes.
Okay, so go ahead and roll IQ.
Yes.
What could go wrong?
All right. So your intuition's telling you it's best to just take a night.
All right, so we'll be making the trip, and it becomes very obvious that with her hobbling along, they are just not making good progress, and she'll kind of hobble over to Nathan and tug on his sleeve and say, brother, I don't think it would be wise for us to continue after dark. I think we need to stop. I don't know that I'm going to be able to walk the rest of the way at night where we can't see.
Give him big puppy dog eyes while you're at it, and then it's just like he's got no resistance against that.
Of course. Gentlemen, I think it's best that we stay the night here. It could be still another couple of hours, and to travel in the night is dangerous.
Now Abby can give him a really dirty look.
He doesn't want people to know that his sister doesn't want to go on because of the pain.
Well,
How
all
very
right.
chivalrous, indeed.
Ah, blast y'all. They didn't bring me lunch.
What?
Are you all in agreement to make camp?
Absolutely. I can break out my fiddle.
So on second thought,
See, that's motivation right there.
Well, he's been
That's-
We
walking
need firewood.
all day. He's probably not drunk or even tipsy. Granted, he's
Well-
only got an 11.
I would say, Abby, you've got the survival woodlands, and maybe somebody else does.
Nathan will say, I saw a spot, maybe a quarter of a mile back, that would be a good place to camp. By a small creek, and there's looks like a comfortable dry place. We should have good concealment to hide our camp as well there.
Good eye, brother.
Yes, in fact, Abby, you remember that exact spot. So, without any other opposition to this idea, you all make it to that secluded spot. Will you have a campfire?
Since it is... Oh, how cold is it?
Well, it's late summer, so I'm going to say that it will get cold enough to be uncomfortable. Perhaps starting a fire will at least reduce your fatigue in the morning.
All right, so Nathan will want to start a fire. He'll start collecting some wood. He did choose a camp that was concealed and comfortable, so he wants to recover that one fatigue from listening to the fiddle all night.
Besides, what do we have to hide from?
Natives.
So I'm not going to require rolls for making that fire. It's a pretty routine thing, and you've made many a fire, so you get a nice, comfortable fire going. And Abby, did you want to try a roll to make a meal?
Of course.
Yes.
You guys are.
Well,
We
I'm gonna
just
break
see-
out. I'm gonna break out my jug of brandy and dump it in there, and like that might make it better.
No, so basically, you guys just see flashing across your vision, you have died of dysentery.
I love it. This is, I know how this feels. Well, thank you for that. And I take it, Newt, that you're going to drown your taste buds in booze, but play the violin.
Possibly, unless I'm stopped.
I'm just curious. That's all.
And Nathan will spend part of the evening massaging his sister's ankle. Try and reduce the swelling.
Duncan, are you doing anything?
No. No, I can't think of anything at the moment.
Sleeping under your hat?
We wouldn't understand what you say anyway.
Yep. Abby is going to stay off of her feet as much as possible to let it heal and rest.
All right. Newt, are you indecisive about playing your violin, or you've just decided not to?
Right. Yeah. Sorry. I was looking for something. See, he can not suck.
Okay, look at that. So, Newt, what do you play?
I don't know. Something appropriate. I don't know what's appropriate in that era.
All right. So he plays some popular dancing tune.
A folk tune. But everyone's going to be looking at him like, where was that last night?
It comes and it goes. This isn't my normal. I don't do this all the time. Okay, I might do it a lot of the time.
The evening.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was just going to say Abby will kind of let out a long-suffering sigh and say, of course, now that I can't dance, you actually play something.
In my defense, madam, it's Nathan's fault.
How is it my fault?
Anyway, what strange weather we're having.
The darkness grows, and of course, to our modern eye, we often forget just how dark the woods would be at that time in history.
That's why
And so
we're going camping.
the firelight does help to bring comfort as the growing shadows amongst the various trees seem to close in on you. And yet you all succumb to sleep in one form or another and wake up to a very bright and fresh morning, and you've regained that lost fatigue point.
Outstanding.
You missed your opportunity at TPK. You could have had wolves eat us during the night.
This is true. I'm already into an hour, and you're still alive. I'm quite disgusted with myself.
Roll for initiative.
So, on to hour 2. Anything you want to do before you undergo your last portion of this hike?
Where are we going again?
Fenmore's farm.
Ah, right.
Okay. Abby will attempt to kill everyone again with cooking.
Oh, yes, please.
That didn't go that well last night.
I'm better with bacon and eggs.
There it is. So, with a hearty meal and your warm meal in your stomach, you stomp out the fire and settle off to continue along the Hudson River. And as you continue to the southwest, you pick up a trail, a rather well-worn trail. And anybody got tracking?
Nope.
Yes.
Give a tracking at +3, please.
Ooh, so it's not a person. Or not a group of people.
So yeah, Nathan, you can definitely tell this is your uncle's work.
So it's a trail that's been made.
Yes, indeed, and you can tell it's probably a trail he's cut over time to access either his fishing or his trapping lines.
Does Nathan have any knowledge of, huts or cabins that he has in this area?
You know that his homestead will definitely be a finely built cabin, and he probably will have an outbuilding.
Does this trail lead back to the house?
And that is your general impression, that this is your uncle's trail, and it's going to probably beeline, give or take, to the Fenmore homestead.
Well, Nathan will point this out to everyone. This trail, I believe this is fashioned by my uncle. It will be a shortcut to the manor or house.
Well, lead on then, Scout.
And so you continue on the trail, and indeed, it leads you to a two-building homestead, just a couple 100 yards from the Hudson River.
And this is where everybody dies.
And you can instantly see that this log house is finely built. It has two chimneys, and one of the chimneys is blowing some smoke. And sort of behind it, you can see this decrepit-looking little shack made from bark, and there is a cabbage patch out behind the house itself.
But are there any kids in the cabbage patch?
Not that you can see. And as you approach the homestead, you see the smoke rising from one of the two chimneys. And if I could get hearing-based perception rolls from everyone, please.
Booyah! Booyah!
Gonna be like that.
Wonderful. For the two critically succeeded, you can hear someone singing from the house. And for those of you that recognized it instantly, it's the Scottish tune Johnny Cope, which commemorates a 1745 battle.
Do we recognize the voice?
You definitely recognize the voice, you and Abby. You may not recognize the music, but you recognize the voice of your uncle.
Well, it sounds
Nice.
like my uncle is home. This is good
Got
news.
another Scot.
And yeah, if you want to actually hear the tune, I can drop a link, I believe. I'm not sure if that's going to work, but give it a go.
Let's see if I'm going to regret this.
Your uncle is not a particularly good singer, but certainly the tune is familiar, even if you couldn't pick up the actual words.
Duncan is absent-mindedly humming along.
And as you're listening to the singing, are you sort of staying into the tree line, or are you kind of just going to walk up to the cabin directly?
We don't have any reason to hide, do we?
No.
No.
I'm going to break out my my violin as we're approaching, and maybe like you'll play the tune along with the dude.
All right. So as you get closer, you can hear your uncle boom out, "I will restore the years that the swarming locust has eaten, the hopper, the destroyer, and the cutter, my great army which God has sent among us." And as you get up to closer to the cabin, you can literally hear him stomping with his feet. Does anybody have theology?
Not I.
Okay.
Protestant.
You could try to either. Well, there we go. Look at you go, Nathan.
I guess Nathan has been studying to become a preacher then.
So Nathan, you hear your uncle
Good
drop
roll.
that quote, and yeah, great roll. And it's a biblical verse from the book of Joel, one of the minor prophets of the Hebrew Bible.
I actually forgot since Ronki is now starting to turn these into podcasts. We should probably like actually say what we roll instead of just rolling.
Correct.
All right. Well, Nathan, you rolled a 5. And you needed a 9? Well done.
Well, succeed by 4 on theology.
60 by 4. Yeah. So he's shouting out some verse from the book of Joel. Okay. And Newt, are you?
Musical violin, success by 2. I'm going to join in on the music because, he's got the quirk that music brings him peace.
Okay. So as you begin to play, and as you begin to approach the house, and unless you're sort of pausing in any of all this, but if you're not, he will stop singing, and you will sort of see this face look out from a window, and then he'll throw open the door, and he'll have his Kentucky rifle in his hands, sort of looking up at you, saying, "Who the hell are you, and what are you doing on my land?"
Abby will just kind of look at Nathan. I mean, I'm assuming he would know he should know who we are.
Is this not your uncle?
Yeah.
That is indeed your uncle.
Wow.
Hey, now.
Whoa.
Wrong.
Put it down, you daffy bastard!
What did you say?
I don't know.
Uncle.
And,
Nathan will throw his hands
recognize
up.
us? It's Abby.
And he kind of squints, and he kind of squints. Now he's not pointing the rifle. He's got it in his hands, and he's kind of squints, and he goes, "Abilas, is that you?"
Yes, Uncle. It's me and Nathan.
"Nathan, what are you doing here?"
Jacob sent us. He came here, was it a couple of days ago?
"I believe so."
Jacob came past a couple of days ago and you weren't here, so he sent us to check up on you.
"Oh, I can't believe you're here. Hey, who are the 2 people with you? Who are those?"
I'm just the musical accompaniment.
Wait, could you knock it off? I can hardly hear my niece and nephew.
He says, this here is Newt, and this Duncan.
Newt
Oh, here I am.
and Duncan. Duncan, why do you look familiar?
Come on, Daniel. Tell him he owes you bloody money.
I was just, yeah, I wasn't ready for that one.
Maybe this guy's drunk. Yeah, Jacob wasn't lying about this guy having good alcohol.
I dare you to ask him to pay back the debt while he's got a rifle in hand.
Yeah, he's gonna yell something about married your cousin.
Where's the accent?
It's gonna have to sit aside for a moment.
Nope.
Said
Ronky
something
called
about
it
he
earlier.
married his cousin or something like that, and he owes him money.
And Enoch says, "Oh, that's a load of crap. That's just such a load of crap. I owe no one any money. I always pay me debts." But anyway, what are you going to do? Stand out there and let all the heat from my cabin leave? Yeah, come on in. Come on in. And as he says it, you can sort of see these looking beyond you to the tree line, definitely with a look of suspicion or expectation, not in a good way. And as he kind of beckons you in, you can see him kind of wince. There's obviously something that's hurt him.
Well, Nathan will look to the direction that, he's obviously looking at. Does Nathan see anything?
Nothing out of the ordinary, just the usual thick tree line of the bush.
Okay. Abby will move forward, hobble forward over to her uncle and kind of, stand up a little bit taller, like on her good toe, and give him a kiss on the cheek and say, "It's good to see you safe, Uncle." And then she'll kind of make her way past him and into the cabin.
Was Jacob's sister supposed to be here as well?
That's correct.
What was her name?
Clara.
So,
and as you embrace him, he doesn't. He kind of reacts in just, yes, my child. But when you throw your arms around him, he winces. It's pretty clear he's got some little injury of some kind on around his shoulder area.
She'll stand back, kind of holding him a little bit at arm's length, and look at him concerned. "Are you injured?"
It's nothing really. Come on in, everyone. Come on in.
Shush. Go sit down. Newt, please. I can't read his last name. Otherwise, she would call him Mr. and his last name.
Pepperell, it looks like.
Mr. Pepperell, please.
So,
Yes.
yeah, Enoch, he slumps down into a chair. You see and I'll just describe what you see here. The main room is sparse, but it's furnished with a rectangular spruce table, a few chairs. There's some shelves that hold some basic dry goods. And Duncan, you see that rifle in his hands is actually a nice brand new Kentucky rifle. And he sort of hands it to Nathan and says, "Laddie, could you put that up over the fireplace for me?"
Of course. By the way, is Clara about?
Clara? No, she's not at all. She hasn't been home for a while. And,
Really? Where is she?
Well, I don't rightly know. Well, come have a seat first, please, and I'll explain it. And he grabs. And
What? You cut out.
Cut out.
Sorry, he grabs his collarbone.
Right. Take off your shirt, please, sir. Let me look.
Who in the hell are you? Get what? Who?
I'm Newt
What?
Pepperell. I'm a surgeon's mate. I may be able to, patch you up, sir.
Okay, and just before we continue, I'll just sort of explain the other side of this cabin. So there's this living room area. The Kentucky rifle, you put it above the fireplace. There's a large chest as well. And there's also in the second half a bed and there's two homemade down mattresses that kind of make up a smaller room that obviously is shared by Enoch and Clara. There's a large trunk as well on that side of the cabin. And you notice that because you've asked about where Clara is, you notice that there's a traveling cloak that's hanging on a wall. And so as you go to sort of examine him, Enoch says, I was trapping north of here, a place where the beavers grow conspicuously large and heavy, more like dogs than rodents. And beavers are hateful. They shriek like the devil when they see a man, and are often likely to attack you like a rabid thing. Well, I was hunting these devil beavers when I tripped and fell into the river. The things were on me in an instant, biting my skull and neck with their teeth. And that's when he kind of opens his shirt to allow you to see.
I managed to fail my diagnosis roll.
So what you see are two very vicious puncture wounds on his collarbone.
Well, let's see.
The devils, they wouldn't leave. They wouldn't let me leave the river, and my powder was wet, so I swam for it. I fell down over a little fall, and I knocked my head. Well, somehow the Lord was with me, and He saw to it that I didn't drown. And then I was fished out of the water by a cowardly, round-faced Frenchman. The shagbag had deserted his unit, you see. But he was God-fearing, so he saved me from the river. I didn't trust the man, but me leg was hurt, so I told him he could winter at my place. Well, we spent a day or two lost in the wild, and that's when we saw it.
So what?
Oh, what?
Now, what else are you doing as he's kind of telling this story?
Duncan is rummaging around. Hey, you got any whiskey?
Okay, you're rummaging. Newt, I know you looked at his collarbone. Was there something else you wanted to do?
Well, he's probably still in the process of attempting the diagnosis roll, because I don't think that's something that's taken care of immediate.
Yeah, you can tell that it's likely infected. Nathan, Abby, what are you two doing?
Did Nathan notice that Clara's travel coat was still here?
Yes, you did. And if somebody has a housekeeping role, they might want to just give it a try. Give that a little roll. All right. So Abby, you succeeded your housekeeping by one. I realize this is probably just common sense, but you know that there's no way Clara, if she's away, is going to be out without that cloak.
Uh-oh, you're going to have to, like, tie your uncle down and go all Jack Bauer on him.
So he says, we spent a day or two lost in the wild, and that's when we saw it.
What was it you saw?
It
It
was a clown.
it was a it was a pyramid or a cone of sorts, dirty, white, and jutting out of the ground about 15 feet. A circular door was at the top. I told the Frenchman to leave it be, but he was all curious and he climbed up. Suddenly, locusts the size of my fist poured out of it. I went to run away, but a horrible thing happened. One of those locusts fell on the round face of the stupid Frenchman. And I swear to God, it crawled into his head. And the shagback, he screamed bloody murder. And I fled. I ran as fast as my old legs could take me. Thank the Lord I found my way back here.
I am absolutely convinced that this infection has really messed with his brain.
So could everyone make a perception hearing roll at -3 into the box, please?
Yeah, I can fail that for you in the box.
So as he's, as he continues to sort of tell his story, he's also sort of, much like you thought you heard before he got to the cabin, he's pounding his foot on the floor in a very odd way.
So, Abby's not a doctor. She does have first aid, but can she just walk over to him and just kind of put a hand on his head to see if he's just absolutely fever ridden?
Yeah. So you put your hand on his head, and he's definitely hot, but it doesn't feel like a traditional fever. It perhaps is just that he's really worked up.
Nah, it's infection. It's caused his brain to burn.
Nathan
she'll
will
just-
be. Is this like a one-room house?
Yes, it is. It's a one-room house with sort of two living areas. One's the common area, the other is the sleeping area.
So Nathan's going to be looking around for, Clara's stuff. He's trying to work out why she wouldn't be here. Is her obviously her cloak is still here, but are there other things that she would have normally taken with her, or are they still here as well?
Okay. So as you look around, you don't really see anything aside from that traveling cloak. It seems like everything that may have been Clara's is still very much there.
The other building on this farm, do we know what it is? Is it just a barn, or is it?
It looks like probably a shack where he maybe skins the things he catches. And I will get perception, vision-based perception rolls at -5, or a search roll into the box, please.
From everyone or just Nathan?
Only if you're looking around.
Nathan has acute vision, so.
No, Abby is not. She is fussing over her uncle.
Okay. Duncan, as you're sitting there trying to find booze and listening to those ramblings, you notice that underneath the table where he's sitting, you figure there's a trap door.
Well,
So
completely forget that I'm in somebody else's house and just start opening it.
well, the table's on it.
Oh, well, I'll just give it a little scoot.
So you see Duncan kind of try to shift the table, and Enoch just suddenly turns on you and says, "Stop it! Don't you dare move my furniture, you langard!"
And none of us are going to know what the two Scotsmen are saying to one another.
We really, really need an argument between the two of them just so we can all kind of just tennis match it.
Are you yelling at me,
Freaking-
you gummy bastard?
You shagback, get your filthy, filthy hands off me table right now.
Shagbag. I like that.
At this point, as there's kind of a lull in the conversation. Oh boy.
You
Uh-oh.
look here, you bastard.
Duncan failed his bad temper check. Nice. Are you going to punch the guy who's infected?
Maybe.
Old man
We're gonna-
fight.
We're gonna get into it though.
Okay, so so as you are as sort of this lull in the conversation as they both stare at each other, let's all have hearing-based perception rolls again in the box, but this time just at your usual value. All right, so Abby and Newt, you can definitely hear in just that brief moment before Enoch takes in a deep breath to shout back, you think you hear some moaning coming from under the floorboards.
I think Newt's immediately going to look at Abby with a, "Did you hear that?" and kind of expression.
And Enoch sort of stands up and pounds his fists on the table. You bastard! Get the hell out of my home! Nathan, get me my rifle!
Abby will try to fuss and try to calm him down. Uncle, please, we're just trying to help. And she'll look at Newt and kind of like give him the, yes, I heard it too, look, like the wide-eyed.
Man, do I need to club him over the back of the head with a forget-me stick?
Enoch, relax.
Yeah,
What?
but you're not telling me to relax.
What's going on here? Why did you bring this shag bag into my house to ramble through my things? I don't. This is not how you treat your uncle.
One more time. I'm gonna box your ears like a wee
Shag
bit.
bag, shag bag, shag bag, shag bag. And he's
Nathan will stand between them. Will the two of you just shut up?
so. What's Duncan going to do?
My wee Jesse.
And
Right,
Nathan, as you sort of say, will you two shut up? You notice that your uncle's eyes have gone down in a very sort of panicked state to look down beneath the table, or like as if he's looking down through the table.
Well, Nathan will sort of glance at what he's looking at, see nothing, and then he'll just sort of stand in between them, holding them apart, just trying to get them to calm down.
What's in the cellar, sir?
There's nothing in the cellar. Mind your own business, you English twat.
Do you know what he said?
That's where he hides his whiskey.
Do you know what he said?
Are you daft? Do you know ken the words coming out of my mouth?
What?
Okay, while they're all arguing, Abby's gonna kind of, she's not very sneaky, but she's gonna try to sneak her way around now that the table's out of the way and pop open the trap door to see what's going on. She may not even be able to open it, but
Okay. So what I'm going to do is have a little contest of strength here between Duncan and Enoch.
Oh,
Well, this is
good.
going to be an
I'm not
exercise in
involved.
failure.
Why? What's yours? Is it as bad as mine?
Well, I guess it's not that bad. I'm above average.
Yep, you're better than me. Apparently, Newt
How
is
does
a
Nathan
utter
feature in
weakling.
this, since he's trying to hold the two apart?
Yeah, so I'm going to give a negative to Enoch simply because he is exhausted and you're kind of holding him a little bit back.
I guess in a way you're grappling the both of us.
So fair enough. Duncan, in your anger, you literally shove the table aside, which is what gets Enoch very, very alarmed. And there indeed is a trap door there. And at that point, Abby,
was absolutely from Nathan. It was not from Newt.
and Abby, you're free now to open that door.
So she's going to kind of scoot around behind all the fighting and just go pop it open.
And you hear him scream, "No! Don't do that!"
This is going to be great.
So,
everyone
It's
dies.
going to be his daughter. His
so
daughter's gonna be stripped of all of her skin.
you you fling up the door, and you just see there isn't any stairs going down. It's just a very shallow, dark hole, and you can smell the earthy smell, and you can hear moaning and groaning coming up.
So she'll look up at her uncle and say, "What have you done?" And
I've done nothing but do the right thing. Do not go down there, me girl. Don't go down there. Whatever you do, don't.
While he's saying that, Newt is going to grab a lantern and go down there.
So you're going to have to drop into the cellar and hunch over.
Oh, okay. It's not quite that. Okay. Yeah. So he'll still drop down there and then say, ask to be handed a lantern, because clearly there's someone hurt down here, and the healer thing is going to kick in.
and Abby will
Code of
go,
honor.
She'll go fetch him a lantern and bring it back.
Damn it! I should have thought about that. That's awfully decisive, isn't it?
Yes, it could be.
That's true.
Would you like to make a roll?
Yay! So
Well
yeah,
done.
he's still going to do it.
All right. So fighting your better judgment, or maybe your worst judgment, you light that lantern. You climb into the root cellar, and you hunch down, and your lantern lights up this sparse little root cellar, but you can see a dark figure lying on the ground, bound and gagged. The figure's back is to you, but they're very much alive, and it does not look like a woman.
All right, so I'm gonna totally regret this, because I know when I roll him over, his face is gonna explode or something. But I'm gonna roll this person over to see if I know who it is.
So you sort of hunch down, you walk into the cellar, and you roll the figure over, and it's a very sort of terrified man. And here's what he looks like.
So, by the way, Abby will actually scoot down after Mr. Pepperell is kind of out of the way.
And Enoch, it just even goes more livid. No, don't go down there. Don't.
Well, I don't think this is his daughter.
Who is this?
Possibly the frog that he was referring to. Could you have your brother come down here, help me get him out?
Of course. She'll call up, "Nathan, we need you down here."
So he's standing in between the two Scots. He says, "Are you too relaxed, too calm?"
There's no way, like
This is going to be great.
as you're holding your uncle, there you just know he is like a leopard. He is probably going to pounce.
Yeah, the uncle has stopped paying any attention to Duncan at this point, I'd imagine.
So Duncan should cold cocking. Like a
Duncan, can you do me a favor and just step out for a bit?
Oh, I'll step out.
That's right.
Ow!
That's right. You shagbag, get the hell out of my cabin, and don't you
Oh,
come back.
that's it. That's it. You're coming out with me. Bring your pistol.
Nice.
My pistol's bigger than yours, and I don't have to bring it out to prove it.
Then
That's only
Nathan,
because you keep handling it all the time.
Nathan will
Interesting
say,
family you have there, man.
Duncan, please get out.
Duncan should come down into the root cellar instead.
Duncan is
Uh,
Duncan is going to leave the house, but he's fully expecting Enoch to follow at some point, whether or not that actually happens. And then I'll forget why he was out there.
Okay.
Nathan will then head into the cellar.
Wait,
So as you
before you do that, remember, dude wanted his rifle. You probably don't want to leave him where he can just grab the rifle. He might shoot me.
True that. Let me see. I'm going to roll IQ.
Yes.
No,
So
He hasn't.
he's gonna didn't think about it.
he didn't think about it. He's more concerned with what his sister needs.
All right, dude.
So-
Here comes your opportunity to shoot somebody with the rifle.
so you go and jump into the cellar.
Nathan, as he's climbing down, he says, "Is it Clara?"
No, far from.
And you just hear Enoch start to just jump up and down, literally jumping. He's so livid. He's a slave to them. I know, and he'll bring them upon us.
Let's get the poor man out so Newt can have a better look at him.
Abby will offer to take the lantern to free up Newt's arm so he can help carry the guy.
Just relax, sir. We'll get you out.
Even though Abby is probably stronger than Newt.
And he will remove the gag.
So you remove the gag, and you hear a distinctly French, French
put the gag back there.
French Canadian voice.
So the first thing he says is sorry in a French accent.
Mon Dieu, merci beaucoup, nous m'aidons beaucoup, merci. Oh, sorry, thank you so much, thank you so much. And you can hear Enoch now, sort of like literally screaming, he's a slave. I know they're going to come and get us. Don't let him out.
Good sir, what is your name?
Je m'appelle, I'm sorry, I am Rigobert Dufour.
He's tied up as well?
Yes, he's bound and but not gagged now.
Are you hurt?
No, I am not hurt. I'm not hurt at all. No, look, you must understand. You must understand. He cannot stop me. He cannot stop me. I have to do the work.
As Nathan sort of untying his bindings, he'll say, "What work?"
Well, the ships of stone, they do not work. The ships of stone, they do not work at all. The ships of stone have failed there. They have failed here.
This is all just
Gibberish.
to Nathan, yeah.
He holds his head then, and he says,
Yeah.
The shrouded planets. The shrouded planets, oui, les bateaux qui servent d'attraire sacrifice du bébé.
So, what are you talking about? I don't understand.
Does anybody speak French?
Abby has broken French.
Nope.
As does Nathan.
Duncan actually has accented.
Wow. Well, that makes sense if you were at Culloden because
Yeah.
the Scots were allied with the French back then.
So what you can understand is something about planets, something about ships sailing stars, something about sacrifices to what you think he said maybe was like a god that's purple and eats.
Is that what like Abby and Nathan pick up?
Yep.
Okay, so Abby's going to look at Nathan and say, "Is everyone around here mad?"
It
Nathan-
does seem that way, yes.
Nathan's going to roll a reaction roll to this guy. He may become hesitant in untying him.
Yeah, he's probably thinking, oh yeah, this guy's maybe crazy.
So he's going to be a little hesitant in untying, so he'll stop untying. And he'll help the guy out, so get him out into the house or out of the cellar. But he's going to ask his uncle, Enoch, what are you talking about?
I'm telling you, he's got a locust in his skull. It's talking to him. You don't understand. I put him down there to protect us all. They want him.
Okay, I'm starting to suspect Enoch too because his accent changed.
Yeah, that's my bet. The locusts, they come back at night looking for me. And you say, don't you understand? Seems they know I got away and have more to tell me. Plus, I have to wait for my Clara to get back.
Nathan
What
will.
was that about telling him?
Nathan's going to look over this guy's face. Is there like a hole in his head where a locust the size of a fist could have gone into his head?
No, there's nothing physically on his skull that looks at all odd. But Richobert is like, he's like moaning and he's like rotating his head. The ships of stone. Ships of stone, they do not work. They do not work here. We need more slaves.
Well, at this point, Newt is absolutely regretting being convinced to come out here and help.
And
So
Enoch,
we'll eventually get him out and we'll sit him on a chair.
yeah, and Enoch just again continues to scream, "You can't free him. He has an insect in his skull."
Abby's going to seriously try to calm him down. Say, "Uncle, he is not free. See, he is still bound."
Examine the inside of what was his name? I missed it. Damn it! Did I close that? The frog, because I'm not going to try to pronounce that. I'm not going to pronounce that. I'm British. No, try to examine the inside of his mouth to see if there's like actually cuts or scrapes, so as I can prove to Enoch that there's no way anything crawled into his mouth.
So you and Rigobert doesn't resist. He almost seems very compliant. He opens his mouth, but he's just
And
like,
here comes the insect.
yeah. And you look inside his mouth, and it looks like a very typical mouth for anyone of that age and time period. You know, kind of rotting Not the best gums, pretty foul breath, but some lost teeth and abscesses.
So point that out to Enoch. Let him know. Yeah, there's no way this what you said could have happened. You should trust me. I'm a mediocre surgeon's mate.
And Enoch says, "Well, don't let him. Don't untie him. Don't untie him. You know, because there are other French scouts, and they're out on my property. And I spied one the other night too. Sneaking around north of the house, and I got a glimpse of him. I think he's coming for this one. And I took a shot at him with my rifle, and I think I hit him too. It was dark, but I haven't gone out to look for him yet. Bloody French shagbags, locusts in their heads."
Newt. Is the man running a fever because he's speaking nonsense? Perhaps he's feverish.
Well, he was kept in a small dark hole and apparently had a Scot shouting at him. That's enough to make anyone run a fever. But I have not been able to diagnose anything completely out of odds, apart from the fact that he's rambling nonsense.
Is there a standard procedure with dealing, since we're at war, with dealing with French?
String them up or shoot them.
No, because again, there can be lots of French refugees seeking protection as well.
Okay,
As they
so
do,
it's
they go wah ha ha ha.
so it's not so much a civilian war; it's more just a government's war.
That's correct.
Why, it's almost a world war. Well, I don't know what to do with these crazy people.
Duncan walks back in.
So Abby will.
Oh, hey there. I see you found Enoch. You owe me money,
Yeah.
by the way.
Is he actually absent-minded?
Yeah.
Nice.
I left my
So-
pistol.
So Abby will kind of, she's very concerned about her uncle's mental state at this point, and she'll look at Nathan and say, he said that he shot someone over by the tree line. Shall I go check?
And he rough up the girl too, says Rigobert.
The girl.
Shut up, shagbag. Mind your own business.
Nathan will say, "I think it's a good idea to go check. You should maybe take Newt or Duncan with you."
She'll glance between the two of them, and then she'll
Probably
tug
pick
on,
Duncan.
yeah, probably a good idea. Please
Rigobert
come with me.
says, "Yes, the girl in the ground, the pretty girl in the ground. He rough her up." And he makes some violent motions with his hands, and he points to Enoch. "Shut up, shagbag. Shut your mouth."
Where was this?
Where was the girl?
The girl, she was with the man. He roughed her up. He buried her in the ground.
Where in the ground? Wait, why are we trying to interrogate a crazy person?
I don't know where he buried her. I do not know. But I hear him talking about burying pretty girl to protect her.
So Abby will be. She's not sure if either of the men are in their right state of mind. So she will tug on Duncan's sleeve and say, "Mr. McIntosh, will you please come with me? We need to go have a look."
Oh, hey, did you find any whiskey?
Sadly, no.
So Enoch, he just shakes his head. No. The girl's fine. She's tough. She knows the woods well. She's on friendly terms with the tribes too. I know. All she did was go out to find me. She knew I was perhaps injured. That's all. Shut up, Shagbag.
Are you talking about Clara?
Clara. Yes, she's perfectly fine. She's safe.
She's out there by herself?
She's perfectly safe. You know the Locusts are coming back at night. They're looking for me. I have to wait for her to come back, you know.
Abby looks at Nathan and she's starting to look really panicked.
Meanwhile, Newt's thinking we should tie both of them up.
Where's Clara?
I told you,
Everybody up.
she's gone off in the woods to find me. Don't listen to what that idiot is saying over there. That round-faced Frenchman. There's an insect in his head.
At this point, Abby she bolts out the front door of the cabin.
And Enoch shouts out, You don't think I was going to let one of them locusts get to her, do you? No. And then he starts to sob. I buried her. No one can find her, not even them. I'll free her when it's safe. I'm a good father. And he bursts out into tears and just a blubbering mess.
Okay,
My
Abby
God, Enoch, what have you done? Where have you buried her?
I buried her in the north.
So Abby's outside at this point. She is looking for freshly turned ground.
The locusts are going to come for every one of us.
Nathan will grab Enoch sort of by his good shoulder and say, lead him out and say, show us where you buried her.
And he just sort of falls like a dead weight to the ground, sobbing, and he's just clutching and clawing at the ground. I'm a good father. Like now there's like dirt in his mouth. He's spitting it out with spittle. I'm a good father, and the locusts are gonna get us all.
We're going to feel really bad if there actually is a locust in the Frenchman's head, aren't we?
Can Abby roll a naturalist roll to see if she can spot a difference in like the land where someone might be buried?
Well, he did. Yeah, he did say he buried her to the north of here.
However, she had darted out at that point.
Yeah, she didn't hear that.
Oh, she didn't hear that. Okay.
One of us, it's like, if nothing else, Newt will probably, as he's stepping out there, shout, to the north.
So yeah, you hear Newt shout to the north. He buried her to. Sorry, Newt. Go ahead.
Yeah. Basically that, and he's gonna, if Nathan is, basically trying to get these two to cooperate or whatever, Newt is going to proceed out to join Abby and Duncan, I presume, to find some buried lady.
Yeah, Abby was in the process of tugging Duncan out after her, but as soon as she heard her uncle start to break down, she lets go of his sleeve and just goes.
actually. You said there's another. Oh yeah, we got I got the picture there. We got the other little building. I'm gonna go to that in the hopes that there's like a shovel or something.
Sure thing. So at this point, what I'll do is say, so Abby, you're kind of like, can you kind of say where and what on the map where you think you'd like to start looking?
Okay, so Newt comes out and yells to the north. So she will, I guess, see Duncan toddling in that direction, and she'll hike up her skirts and take off. So she'll head as far up as the tree line up to the north,
Okay.
like directly north of the cabin, like
Righto.
the little cluster of trees right there. She'll go up to that far.
Although it looks like there's a sinister looking tree in this on this map thing.
Yeah.
So
she's watched all the horror movies. She knows to not go out of earshot.
Okay.
No,
So
but we predate the horror movies at this point, so you can't have watched those.
Shh, it's fine.
so knowing that if Clara indeed is buried alive, she probably has a very limited amount of oxygen. You go scooting up that way. Duncan, yes, indeed, knows his cardinal points. Did I get that right? And we'll head to the north. And then Newt, you are heading up to the shack by the cabbage patch.
Yeah, looking for like a shovel or other tools that we could use to dig her up quickly.
Okay, so as I'll just interject, Abby and Duncan, as you are heading north, you pass the cabbage patch, and you see. I know you're looking for any signs of anything. You definitely see that there were signs of a scuffle or a struggle because some of the cabbages are somewhat pressed down, and it looks like somebody was dragged sort of maybe through that area, or there was some resistance.
It's all the Cabbage Patch Kids.
The Cabbage Patch Kids, exactly. And Nathan, what are you doing in the midst of all this?
He's just keeping an eye on the two in the house.
Okay.
He's probably going to be standing at the doorway, so he'll be looking to, his sister going off to the north, but he'll keep looking back to make sure the two in the house don't start at each other or anything like that.
Yeah, and you're on.
Real quick,
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm gonna say, if it's okay with you, Abby's gonna actually probably lose a fatigue point because she is going full breakneck speed towards the north.
Okay. So at the skinning house, it's basically a bark house, Newt, where it's pretty clear that Fenmore does his work. You find all sorts of beaver pelts. There's a bucket of lime outside the little door to the shack, and you can open the door to that shack if you wish.
Yep, I wish it.
You go inside, and there's like foul smelling. It's just a bad smell in the shed. Lots of beaver skins nailed and stretched out on boards. Do you have naturalist at all?
I do actually. I'm not particularly great at it, but I
Can you do it at a +1?
at a +1. Well, that gives me a slightly above average roll. So against 11, let's see what we get here. Hey, success by 3.
Well done. And you notice that there is one unusually large skin that is sewn and stretched onto a circular loop. It's a beaver skin that's twice as large as it should be.
Ooh, dire beavers.
So we'll move over to Abby and Duncan. You get to that north line of trees that you indicated at a good pace. And does either of you have a tracking skill?
Nope.
No. Got naturalist, survival.
Okay.
That's-
Would you like to try to default it?
I think that'll
Uh,
default up survival, won't it?
Double checking 226.
So tracking
Perception
minus
minus
5.
Default perception -5 or naturalist -5.
Yeah. So
If you're looking for a person, that's going to be an additional +3. A group of people is a +6. And then you have the modifiers about how old it is and such.
yeah.
like that.
So what I'd like you to do is to make a tracking roll at, or at least that default at a +2.
Okay. So
To
she'll
be
default off
perception or
naturalist.
-2 or -3.
Okay. So, okay, so a total of -1 is what it sounds like. If it's +2, then -3 for the default.
No, it's a naturalist -5, but he said +2, so I said naturalist -3,
Okay.
or perception -3.
whichever's higher.
Yeah, it's naturalist.
Oh, so close.
So close. So close. How about Duncan? Did you want to give it a shot?
Well, it seems like a bit of a waste of time, but
He might have
I was
forgotten
just checking to
what he's
see if
looking
he
for.
had checking to see if he had naturalist.
You could fail forward and find some tracks, but unable to follow it.
Well, a miss by 1. It may just take a little longer. Oh, I can
And
keep that.
she's also aware that Nathan is something of a tracker, so she may start bellowing for him to get his butt up here.
So you kind of don't get a sense of exactly which way to the north he may have dragged her. I mean, you could see that there was indications of it from the cabbage patch. So at this point, do you want to use your intuition?
There you go.
Yeah, let's go ahead and do that.
Okay, so why don't you roll into the box? But because you failed just by 1, throw a bonus of 1 on top of that IQ roll.
Okay.
You get the distinct impression your gut is often right. You should be going to the northeast at this point. Sorry, northwest. Northwest.
Okay. So she'll kind of stop and, have like a moment of calm where she just kind of observes, takes in the whole picture. And then there's just something, she just feels it. And she'll just look at Duncan and say, "This way, it's this way." And she'll immediately take off at a full run.
Slow down, lass.
So-
beyond hearing at this point. Sorry.
Yeah, so you scoot off to the northwest, and Nathan, you see your sister and Duncan kind of disappear into those trees to the northwest above the cabbage patch. Would you? We're going to just switch back over to Newt at this point.
Yep. I'm waiting for the beaver thing to animate and attack me while in the skinning thing.
So as you are kind of in that skinning house, looking around, you find some sharp knives, some fleshing planks. There's a hammer, a bucket of rusty nails, and there's a chest in the corner.
Have any idea what a fleshing plank is?
There's a chest in the corner as well.
There you go. You can have some weapons.
But is there a shovel? That's what I was looking for.
So let's see here.
Probably not, now that I think about it.
No, you can't find a shovel, but there is a chest.
Yeah, but I don't think there's going to be anything. Well, do I have curious? Let me check. Okay, actually, let me do something. He's like, okay, do I spend time looking in here or do I say screw it and go up there and join them? I don't know. What do I do here? Nah, he's not gonna look at the chest. He's gonna run up there and start cut out and try to join them, while probably moving a little slower, looking around to see if there's a rake or a shovel or anything like that outside that maybe he could grab.
You do find a hoe.
Hey, that's better than nothing. Although she might be upset when I start using her to dig into the dirt. But
Okay, so you find a hoe and you go scrambling up. So Nathan, you see all this. Your uncle is still just a blubbering idiot at your feet, and Rigobert is just moaning about ships, stars, needing slaves, and yeah.
Well, Nathan will still stay back to keep an eye on the two.
Okay. So
But he'll be observing what's going on outside.
okay.
what's
So
this on the
um,
map?
that's a cabbage patch.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So Abby and Duncan, could you in the box do some vision-based perception at -3? Or sorry, make that -2.
Sorry.
Okay, so Abby, you spot some soft earth recently excavated. I will show you where. Duncan's not too far off.
Okay.
That little mound there. And you get to it and you can tell, yeah, something's been buried here. You can see that there's signs of a struggle around the very area.
Did they leave a shovel behind?
Did I say a hoe? I'm sorry, Newt.
Yep.
There was a shovel. It was in the cabbage patch.
Oh, okay. Well, he will grab the shovel as he's cutting through the cabbage patch, and maybe decapitate one of the kids that are in there.
All right. Well, Duncan's going to start digging with his hands, I guess, temporarily at least.
Yeah, Abby's got her hatchet. She's going to try to use it like a makeshift shovel to start scooping stuff off, but at the same time, she's going to be screaming for her brother.
Okay, Nathan, I don't think this will require a perception-based roll. Actually, maybe it does because these two idiots are blubbering around you. Could you make a hearing-based perception roll? You hear your sister's voice carried over the tree line. Nathan, or sorry, Abby, what do you say?
She's literally screaming his name, like she'll do that twice and then
Monkey,
help,
get up here!
help. We found her.
Okay, that's kind of what you hear.
All right. So Nathan will grab the rifle off the wall, and he will charge out to the source of the screams.
Alrighty.
How fast
So
are
you-
you? I'm wondering if he's gonna like end up blowing past me or something.
Nathan's
Move 6.
Yeah, so he's a little faster than I am.
And he will be
So-
sprinting.
We may end up reaching there at the same time then.
Okay. So if you are going to use extra effort to get there as fast as you can, take the requisite fatigue. And indeed, you fire through the trees, Nathan, with Newt huffing and puffing at your heels, and you see Duncan furiously moving dirt, and Clara too, or Abby too, and you get up there. Yeah, you get up there, Newt huffing and puffing. He's got a shovel. So you begin frantically removing the dirt and earth, and you realize this wasn't as shallow a grave as perhaps you thought at first.
What are you talking about? We can do it supernatural style. We just changed the scene, and we've got a perfectly dug up grave.
And you dig, and you dig, and you dig, and it's quite deep. But eventually you get down, and there indeed is Clara, and she's been put into some sort of a chest. She's sort of it's not locked, but there is a chest there, and you can hear her. She's screaming very hoarsely.
Abby doesn't care. She is going to jump into the hole. Probably
God, she's alive.
re-hurt her ankle in the process, but like try to tear open the chest.
And you do, and you see your beautiful cousin Clara.
I think this calls for a drink.
And she's,
Yeah, Abby's proper crying at this point.
yeah, Clara bursts into tears. She's like, she's almost, just she's obviously dehydrated, and it's only sort of after you realize that once you've cleared everything off, you realize that Enoch had wisely inserted some sort of a breathing mechanism, whether it was some sort of a, I'm losing my words here, but he made some effort to create a tube of some kind to be able to insert down through that box, and you sort of now realize that's kind of what that was. But anyway, she's bound, she's half conscious, she's an emotional wreck, very terrified, and she's just blubbering and crying, and maybe just can't believe it's her cousin, but maybe doesn't believe it is her cousin.
Yeah, so
Also,
Abby
Duncan is crying too.
Oh, so Abby will look up at Nathan and say, "Brother, help, please."
So she, you lift her out of the box, and she calms down, and if somebody has some water, you give it to her. Newt,
Yes.
well done.
0 on the first aid, so actually step in and make sure treat her for shock and dehydration and all that jazz.
I got something in me, eh?
It's clearly from the dirt that you were flinging a boot.
Hey, dirt. That's what it is.
So Clara, when she composes herself, and it's going to take about it's probably going to take about a half hour before she finally just calms down. She just says, "I don't understand. What are you doing here, Abby? Nathan, why are you here?"
Your brother Jacob sent us to check on you. He was here 2 days ago. Or 3 days ago.
This makes no sense. I had no idea it was here. My father, he went out on on a trapping expedition, and he didn't come back. And I hope that maybe one of the Mohawk had perhaps seen him. I went out in the woods to find him. Nobody had seen him. And when I came back to the cabin, I saw he'd returned. And she's again starting to tear up. And I thought he was acting so strange. But he told me that he'd been mauled by one of those devil beavers and that he likes to trap. And so I just perhaps thought it was one of the beavers and something maybe he'd just taken on a bit of sickness.
Well, it appears some delirium has taken hold. He's speaking nonsense, and he's with a Frenchman.
Yes. And that night I heard my father. I heard him shouting, and I could hear a man shouting from underneath our floor. And my father said he'd captured a Frenchman, and then he told me to go back to sleep. And I thought, well, why in God's name would he put anyone under our floors? But I was so confused, and then I had these nightmares of horrible buzzing insects and men chanting to the devil in the woods. And in the morning, I said to my father, you have to let this man go. This isn't the Christian thing to do. And he told me to shut up, and he got very upset with me. And so I went to do the right thing, to take the man out. And that's when my father grabbed me and he pulled me out of the cabin, and he started to drag me towards the woods. And I protested as much as I could. But Father, he was just so incensed. And then he hit me with a shovel and bound me. And the next thing I know, I'm in this dark. And she bursts out in tears again. And leaning into Abby, she just cries, and she says, "The devil's taken his mind, either from those god awful beaver, or maybe he's turned his back on God. I don't know." And she bursts out some more in tears.
So she did say that she dreamt of insects.
She does, yeah.
His bums out the window, that's for sure.
Great. Everybody's crazy.
Well, I think we need to get you
Away from here?
away from here. You can come stay with us, and we'll get your father some help.
So do you bring her back to the cabin?
Yes. I see no reason not to.
It might cause your dad to go crazy.
Yeah, he's going to freak a little bit. You guys
Duncan, I know that you kind of vectored up and over while you were getting involved in sort of this search. Can you just do another perception check in the box, please, at +2 as you're kind of walking back towards the cabin?
Here come the monsters.
Well done, sir. As you're kind of coming back, you spot a blood trail.
Look here.
Yes,
And
it's dirt.
and it's a blood trail that seems to be going off in this direction. If that showed up.
Yes.
That black isn't showing up well, though.
Might want to change your point of color.
Options, user color.
Well, it was Nathan that was doing the tracking before, wasn't it?
Yes, he has the skill.
Natty, have a look at this.
Can we take a little break?
No.
Possibly.
It's either that or I'm going to have a little accident. So let's have a bio break, 5 minutes.
All right.
Roger,
Roger, break.
Roger.
Okay, we are back.
Okay.
Yay.
Yay! So I'm now indeed sitting more comfortably. Good thing. Okay. So you see that blood trail. Who's all going to follow it, and who's going back to the cabin?
Right. Pointed it out to Nathan.
So there's a bonus if something's pointed out to you. Isn't that correct?
I don't know.
Well, if it's in plain
I mean,
sight and I put my finger at it.
I'm
All right,
just
see if it
thinking it's
matters.
lower.
Of course, if you just can't follow the trail, I would think something like a blood trail would probably be worth a bonus anyway.
Yeah, I agree. I would have given you a bonus on that because it is a blood trail. So
Plus, it's a single person, it's a +3. If it's a group
Yeah.
of people, it's a +6.
So it's a single person, a single blood trail. You heard him say something about shooting a Frenchman on the north of his property. This all kind of just sinks in. So we'll turn that failure by 2 into a success. Easy enough. And indeed, you track a blood trail, and can. So who's all going on this little tracking party?
I guess I'm there.
I'm probably going to go because, well, I want to see if the person that was shot is actually deceased, and if not, needs medical attention. And then, case I can thoroughly screw it up because I don't have surgery tools.
That leaves Abby going back with Clara to the house.
I think
Nathan would
she
object.
can take her uncle. I think she can take her uncle and the frog guy by herself.
Yeah, those two people are crazy. And the fact that his uncle buried his cousin, Nathan doesn't want Abby to go back by herself.
Or take Clara by herself.
Can I intuition that?
I suppose the sensible thing would be to send Duncan back, but then again...
You certainly can intuit that.
Okay, so just straight up IQ.
Let's give you a bonus of 1 on that.
Okay.
You made that by 4 in the tower, I'll have you know. So your intuition tells you that to take Clara back to the scene of her perpetrator, you just, again, your stomach's telling you this isn't good. If those two sort of decide to attack each other, you're far more concerned that Clara not be exposed to that, and or you for that matter.
She'll look like she's giving it some thought, and then she'll nod at her brother. I agree. That is wise.
But your
Right.
intuition also tells you that perhaps taking Clara deeper into the woods again may not equally be a wise idea.
In fact, your intuition might be telling you, let's get the hell out of here. This place is crazy.
Yeah, she'll look at Nathan and nod at him and say, "Go on, we'll wait here for you." And she'll stay with Clara and keep like an arm wrapped around her.
That was not an option I was thinking of.
All right. Good enough. So
Well, we'll
Newt,
need one survivor.
Nathan, and Duncan, you follow this blood trail, and I'm going to ask each of you to
Probably.
give a vision-based perception roll, please.
Open or in the box?
Oh, sorry. That can be open.
Sorry. Woot.
Okay, so Nathan and Newt, you're looking around the grounds, following the blood trail, and Duncan, you spot what is so obviously a body, and it is dangling from the tall branches of a spindly white pine tree about here.
We are totally
How'd you
gonna
get up
attacked
there,
by
you-
a ninja cougar, aren't we?
How'd you get up there, you jammy git?
And you two
Is
here,
it hanging upside down? Has it been like
well,
of all of its flesh? Are we hearing
as you
clicking noises?
as you look up, because Duncan obviously says, "What are you doing up there?" If you all want to make open IQ rolls, please.
Man, fail by one again. I am just the worst in this.
Mm-hmm.
Nathan, your thought instantly goes French scout.
Well,
And
Well, I guess that sort of makes sense. I mean, he's fought them more recently, and Newt is like in the rear with the gear normally. And then Duncan probably forgot everything he did yesterday from yesterday.
and as you get closer, you can tell that it's visibly missing a leg.
Sweet. Well, bollocks. I don't think
As
I'm going to need
being-
to do.
As he's been like, gnawed on by a wolf or something like that, or has it been hacksawed off?
It's too high in the branches to really tell. You can just tell that a limb is missing.
not off by a beaver.
What about the pant leg?
Pant leg gone too.
Right. So we're going to have to. Somebody's going to have to climb up there and get it back.
Have to cut him
I don't
down.
have climb. Well, if we're going to need to do that, we can run back to the skinning place. They have a lot of saws, I think he said.
How far up is he?
He is about 20 feet up.
Oh, he's up there a bit.
Dude, we are facing a predator.
Yeah, climbing a tree is
Click, 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 click.
easier, but that's a bit high, especially for an old man like me.
I don't even have the climb skill.
You'll get a
That's why.
you'll get a climbing roll with a +5 because there are lots of branches.
Yeah,
How
ordinary
did he
tree
get up
plus
there in
5.
the first place?
Excellent question. Is he actually tied?
No, he appears to just be shoved up in there,
Oh, he's just kind of
just kind of dangling.
tossed into it.
I put a link in there, Brian. That's how he got up there.
When did
Um,
when did the movie Prey take place? Around about this time, I think.
Ignore that. Right. So,
We don't have time for this. Let's just leave it. It's going to take us a long time to get back, and we're running out of
Actually-
daylight.
did so in the tools in the shed, did he have a pruning pole arm thing?
Not
That
that
might be useful to that end.
I don't know what that is.
It's basically a saw on the end of a long stick.
No, I mean Newt doesn't know what that is because, he would be like,
Well.
"What?" Well, Newt's willing to climb up there. At least nothing else. We need to probably make sure this dude has potential intel or anything like that.
Well, true enough. I guess Newt can go up there and decide if he's dead or not.
I'm looking at the climbing skill to see default minus. Oh man, this is gonna suck.
At the mention of intel, Nathan's going to say, it's always about the war. Look, I'm going back to my sister and Clara. We'll pack some things and get ready to leave.
I will get this one down.
And Nathan will go back to his sister.
Actually,
Sweet.
Newt didn't have any weapons or anything, did he?
Nope.
So I'll hand him my skidoo, my knife.
Actually, Nathan has 2 weapons, so he will offload his uncle's rifle to Newt.
Who's gonna hold it awkwardly, very clearly indicating that he does not have the gun/TL5 rifle skill.
Give that to me. I'll hold it for you.
So, what's the bonus going to be for climbing this because of the branches?
+5.
Oh, so I'm back to straight dex. This is going to be
Mhm.
awesome.
Mm-hmm. You could take extra time.
I don't know. He's looking at it, thinking, and it's like, do I really want to climb up there? That seems kind of dangerous. I don't know.
Yeah, he's trying to decide which set of branches to go up first.
That's pretty much, yeah. Like, do I do that? Do I do that?
I've seen a million ways to die in the West. You're so going to die.
Booyah!
Well done. So
No,
Newt,
the thing's going to animate and attack me while I'm up there.
you climb you climb up there, and you get to the body. What are you going to do now that you've gotten to the body?
Well, wanted to see how it was secured up here, make sure it's actually dead, and then maybe try to cut him down or push him down or something like that.
Well played, Abby.
Just give him a shove.
So yeah, you can just give him a shove. I mean, he's clearly dead. His face is all gray, ashen gray.
Holy cow! I actually made a diagnosis check by 7.
You up?
Decide if he was dead.
Yeah, well, just up there, you notice that there's a gunshot wound or a musket ball wound in his shoulder.
Well, it looks like Enoch did shoot him.
But you also see that the skull's been caved in,
But
and
that didn't kill him.
the leg is entirely missing. It looks like it's been bitten off.
I think a bear got him. We should watch out for bears. I don't want any candy.
Right. A tree bear.
Nope, a drop bear. It's worse. Yeah, this is great. I'm probably the weakest PC present in terms of strength, so I'm gonna be struggling to push it free.
Nathan will turn around and look to the trees where he sensed this motion.
That's right. I've got two flashing eyes.
Nathan, there's a tree moving, and it's moving in your direction.
The tree itself is moving.
There is a tree, and it's moving in your direction.
Dude, you
And-
off the ends.
All right, that's going to require a fright check.
Yes. So what you see, and Duncan, you sort of also notice there's some commotion in the woods, and both of you see this thing emerge from the tree line in front of you.
What in God's name?
I don't know. It's just some random art. It's a circle and a tree.
So I'm going to ask for Nathan and Duncan to make a fright check at -2.
And this is on the fright check Gothic horror table?
Well, you have
If
to
you-
make a
if
fright
you-
check first.
If you fail,
Right.
Damn it, both of you succeeded. That is disappointing.
well done, well done.
Well, that doesn't
Wait,
mean we
wait.
don't soil ourselves.
Were there any penalties?
There was
Yeah.
-2.
So,
Oh.
Nathan?
Yep.
Nathan failed by 2 then. All right. Stunned for 1 second. Andy gains, did he short term. Wow, that's interesting. Where did this table come from? I mean, the origin come from?
GURPS horror.
Oh, okay.
Right. They did have some
Yes. It's
different ones, didn't they?
he's going to be suffering flashbacks for 2 seconds of when the trees attacked. Don't you
Okay.
remember reading about that part in the 7 Years War / French Indian War? Attack of the Killer Ants?
I don't think we covered that one.
It's in
Well,
the
it's like-
trees.
It's like, modern history keeps skipping all the cool stuff, like how Abe Lincoln was apparently a vampire hunter.
Okay, I'm just gonna call up a good old combat map here.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
I
have to
think
readjust my
after-
screen.
I think after 2, maybe 3 seconds of the crazy down there, Newt is probably going to have to make some sort of check to go, what the hell is going on?
So we're just gonna play this out on this map here. We'll just pretend it's north of the cabin, even though you'll see the cabin in view.
So I guess Abby made the right choice to not come with, and I made the right choice to climb the tree.
It's all black, so you're going to have to turn off masking.
Thank you.
Yeah, meanwhile, Abby and Clara are sitting in the woods, braiding
And
each other's hair.
And suddenly you're going to hear hideous screams and go, oh, that
Nathan
doesn't
again?
good.
Did that appear? Is it revealed?
That's a pretty cool map. I like this map.
It came with the adventure. However, kudos to the individual who made it.
So
it's not
this
bad.
must be a Fantasy Grounds image.
I don't think so. I don't know though. It came with the.
Oh,
PDF.
you must have added stuff because it loaded
I
in
did,
sections.
sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did add a roof and some line of sight
Sorry.
stuff.
I'm just going to make a series of will rolls to see how long it takes for me to come out. I need to succeed by 2.
Dude, you're going to get smushed by the ant. You remember in the 2 towers when the one You see it just like stomp on the orc. That's totally going to be you.
Well, I will come out in 2 turns, but that's turns enough for me to get stomped.
Yep.
So we can go into rounds here.
Are we in the
With
right place
Nathan.
there for that? Was it that close to the building?
Well, the building's not there. Yeah,
No,
we're just
he
gonna.
said he's just going to use this map.
So that's kind of
Gotcha.
what you see coming out of the woods, and yeah, we'll just pretend the cabin isn't there.
No, it's fine. It's like, you know, we got that, but Duncan is absent-minded, so he forgot about it.
Right. So Nathan, you're stunned for this round, correct?
2 turns.
2 turns. Okay.
That means you got 2 turns to kill him. Better get cracking. Wait, I shouldn't have said cracking. I should have tried to find a tree pun. Damn, tree puns are hard to come up with off the fly, aren't they?
You just need to branch out to some new material.
There you go.
There you go. There you go. So it simply is having realized its attempt to sneak up on Nathan has failed. It is now simply going to move to close.
Xiclotlan? Xiclotlan?
Newt,
Suddenly?
if you would want, you can certainly do a perhaps an IQ check to see if you even pick up on this, or you're still too engrossed with the body.
I think I'm going to do basically, it's just going to be a perception check, but it's going to probably be hearing based, because if this thing looks kind of large, so I suspect if it's abandoning stealth, then it's making a lot of noise as it's crunching through the trees. And I succeeded by 6, so I'm like, what the heck is that noise? And start looking around.
Okay, so I'll just give you this turn to be looking around. How's that?
That sounds fine for me. I don't want to have to make the fright check. Actually, I do kind of want to make the fright check, and I'm hoping to fail it just because it'd be funny.
Duncan, it all rests on you, you old Scot.
Mm-hmm.
Quick, you should shoot Nathan.
Well, so he is going to take a step back and draw his pistol, forgetting that he's got a rifle in his hand.
Right.
Can you turn off the... Oh, wait, no, never mind.
You should turn on
Carry
the
on.
dings.
The what?
The turn ding.
Oh,
The turn ding. Hang on.
It's in the options.
It is now on. Okay, so the creature, Xiclotlan, I'm not sure how you pronounce it. It is going to try to grab at Nathan with its tentacle-like arms. So this will be a grapple. And for grappling, I believe that's a dex roll, is it not?
oh, yeah, if you don't have a grappling skill, it's 6.
There may be a size modifier issue.
Yes. Actually, I think that interacts differently with grappling, though.
So I will roll the dexterity to see if he grapples. It possibly grapples.
All right, using some extra effort. Nathan will attempt to dodge.
And you're -4 because you're stunned.
Yep. So he has to succeed by 2. He does not.
Okay, you are grappled.
It's got me! It's got me!
And with that, so it whips its tentacles around you.
And eat you.
And so it begins to pull you towards what appears to be a gaping maw that comes out of its sort of massive torso.
What was the thing that you gave Newt there, Duncan? In terms of weapons. Giger.
Oh, it was a small knife.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I didn't give you anything terribly useful there.
Possibly worse than you thought. I don't know if I have the knife skill. I don't have the knife skill.
It's funny,
Wow.
the character as designed has a fast draw knife, but he had no knife.
Well, my character has guns pistol, but he had no pistol. Right. So, I don't know what I can do. I don't know if I know what's going on.
So the last time you rolled sort of to notice that something was moving through the trees.
You should probably
Yep.
roll your indecisive first.
Yeah.
That's
there's
a valid point.
there's no way I would roll that every round. I would just roll it once and let
I
Let
don't
a
have
failure-
to. I succeeded, but it's like
well, there you go.
if you fail, then you have to roll it again, and if you fail again, you keep rolling it.
Oh,
So,
okay, I see.
but still, if it's like I said, if you have that set to to like 6 or
Yeah.
less, forget about it, bro. Right. So he noticed something was going on, so he's gonna look around and try to see if he can't figure out what the hell's going on. Because suddenly Nathan is screaming about "It's got me."
See if there's a
What's
puppet
got it?
master somewhere.
Abby, do you want to make a hearing-based perception roll
She
to
really
see if
doesn't.
you hear your brother screaming, "It's got me, it's got me"?
No, she
I mean,
really doesn't.
Do I want to? No, I'm kidding.
Yeah,
I
he
will.
doesn't have a wife, right? So if he dies, everything goes to you.
It's all mine. Give me a sec.
And Rocky's
So,
like, "Thanks."
Perception?
You traitor!
Hearing-based perception, yeah. You hear over the sobs of Clara, your cousin, the sound of your brother's voice of fear and panic that you've never heard. I mean, never heard before. And you hear him distinctly say, "It's got me, it's got me."
All right. So she's not going to leave Clara alone, but she will have, like, she'll stand up, have the rifle in her right hand, and then take Clara's arm by her left hand and start dragging her into the woods. We have to go help my brother.
Okay. On to Duncan.
Until you see the tree, and then you go, oh, my brother's toast.
He's
Nope.
good. He's good. He's fine. He's got this.
This
So
is something he
Duncan,
has to do himself.
Duncan is going to take a step there and aim the pistol at the giant tree creature and yell at it. Unlimb that man, you filthy tree creature.
Well, he says,
Wait,
you know,
mean it like that.
he's going to pull his limbs off. Excellent.
All right, so this is the turn that he. Actually, no. It was done for 2 turns, so this turn he can actually act.
So you get to, I think you get to roll versus will plus whatever bonuses or penalties you had on your original roll to snap out of it.
Well, that's what I. That's what I
That's
rolled.
what you rolled. Yeah, you did.
So 2 turns, he succeeded on his second turn, so he can act on this turn.
Quick, you need to get to the root of the problem.
Now, the turn you succeeded on, you still do nothing.
Right, but that was last turn.
Has it been 3?
No, this is the second one. This is the second round.
Whatever.
Okay, if this is the second round, then he's still stunned. Well, he comes out of stun now.
Yeah, that's right. He comes out of stun. Yeah.
Grrr, rawr.
The Xiclotlan will pull you closer to its maw.
You know, I would not believe this if I hadn't seen it.
Nathan will sort of try and, straddle either side of the mouth. So, a boot on the nose and a boot on the chin, trying to resist it.
100%. Can you make a dex check on that one?
18.
Well done. So as the creature is pulling you into this otherworldly maw, something you've never seen before and it just defies any reason, you instinctively throw your feet up to fight and successfully plant them on either side of the gaping maw that is hungrily wishing to devour you.
What's the size mod?
Oh, it's big. It's size mod 3.
3.
Okay,
Nathan's
so
going to be
can I?
shouting, "I'm a vegan! I'm a vegan!"
So I'm guessing I see this thing now.
Yes.
All right.
So because we're in
Oh.
well, I was going to say because we're in combat, I think you also would get a bonus, would you?
Yeah, I get a +5. That's just disappointing. And
You can always choose to fail.
nah. So what does the scout have? Does he have any? Did he have any weapons on him? I will spend the round checking the dead guy in the desperate hopes he had like a pistol or something, because this small knife is useless to me.
to quote the great Ronki, let the universe decide.
All right, let's see. And it's gonna it's gonna show me it's bad. So it's like when I start searching him, the tree is gonna just break and we're gonna fall.
It's bad, so he has a pistol.
Nope.
But it's empty.
Universe is cold and indifferent and doesn't care.
It doesn't care. So if it was bad, it would mean it's not there. Correct? If it was good, it would mean it was there.
It's just how you wanna determine it. I mean, I could say it'd be funny as like if I get bad, I think that's the worst. Is that the right? I can't remember. Whatever the worst one.
Maybe you can say he's got something useful, but it's going to take him some time to make it useful or something like that. So it's not immediately useful.
Yeah, so I will say that you find tucked tightly into his belt, you do find a pistol, and it's going to take you some turns to free that pistol, cock it, and get it ready.
Okay. How many turns?
How about you do a 1d6 plus 2.
Yes, that is correct. It's /mod, and then plus or minus whatever the number is, and then you hit space, and you can put whatever it is you want to do as the name, like hasted or whatever. So it looks like 3 rounds. So I have weapon unready.
Okay, Abby. Clara, clearly in no condition to resist, goes along with you as you make your way towards the sound of Nathan's voice.
We're in northern New York, right?
Mm-hmm.
That means we're pretty close to Montreal.
Oh God, that hurt.
Oh, there's a story here I would love to hear at some point in time.
Montreal.
Oh, look at you.
I think you were going out on a limb with that one.
Okay,
Oh
so
my gosh.
I'm assuming that when Abby actually gets there with Clara, it's going to be on the left side of the map that she's going to pop in on, right?
Let's have her pop in on the I'll place her if that's all right.
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
Yep, she's gonna show up and go, nope.
How about there?
Quick, you need to come save this trio over here.
And Abby, I'm going to have you do a fright check,
Plus
but
5.
just +5.
Unless she has combat reflexes, in which case it'd be 7.
No, she does not.
Capped at 13.
Sorry, I had the table open. I got to find it.
No, it's just
Oh, yeah.
gonna be Will at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're fine.
There you go.
You see walking trees all
Okay.
the time.
So we'll say that combination of you have been so pumped from the start of arriving at the cabin, dealing with the madness, digging Clara out. Pretty much at this point, nothing is shocking you, and you'll have time to unpack this later.
Okay, so she's got a range of 100 on her rifle. I'm assuming that from where she is right now, she's 13 yards according to the thing.
Oh, you don't have the pens on.
At
Okay.
least she didn't show up and see that, brother's up there and shout out retreat.
She may need
Sure.
to move depending on how clear the underbrush is
Yeah,
of that tree that you guys are
15.
behind.
It's going to be 15 yards. That's -5. He said it's +3 size mod.
+3 size mod.
Yeah, so you'd be at -2 if you just lifted the rifle and took the shot.
Okay, I think she's going to. Does she have any movement left? Or was all her movement getting to this point?
Yeah, we'll say all her movement was getting to that.
Okay.
All right, Duncan.
Does she have a? Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead and finish.
Well, I was going to say if she's got a clear line of sight to the tree, she's actually going to just set up where she is and take aim with her rifle.
That works.
We'll no be eaten by the likes of you vegetables. And he is going to fire that pistol. And
18.
I didn't actually. Did I? Yeah, I meant to take an extra 2 off of that for. He is in close combat, even though it's a size mod 3. It may not really affect it the same way, but whatever. Pistol fires. And
The
it is a
creature.
successful hit.
The creature, not understanding what exactly constitutes an attack in this world, and is more focused on eating Nathan, does not make any attempt to defend itself.
I thought it might not. I will roll damage, and it will probably be shit.
So the tree
was
remains
maximum.
planted.
It remains planted. That wasn't shit dice. That was the best you could do.
That was the best I could do.
So piercing plus as a wounding modifier does
1.5.
1.5.
However, it's a tree, so it may have
Yeah, it depends on things.
damage no, not damage reduction.
It would be injury tolerance.
injury tolerance. Yeah, it might have
Damage
injury tolerance.
reduction.
Okay, so the bullet fires out from your gun, Duncan, and because there's really nothing to aim at, you just go center mass, and the ball
Sure, it doesn't have a head.
flies into the side of the thing. The ball flies in, and actually after it penetrates the hard outer shell of this thing, which almost makes you sound like you hit the side of something metallic, the ball smashes in, and some sort of a matter blows out of it.
Okay. That was unexpected.
And some unearthly, strange sound you've never heard erupts from the creature's maw, and it drops Nathan.
From how high?
Not very high.
That's too bad.
Not very high. Nathan, you were like kind of being dragged up, and your feet were on the side of the maw. It drops you.
Wait, why did it jump to me already?
Because the creature simply dropped Nathan.
Yeah, but Nathan should go first, doesn't he?
Correct. Why did it do that?
Should probably double check that he's not listed as being, skippable.
I think I clicked after Duncan clicked.
All right, so Nathan is going to clamber away. I'm assuming that he's sort of landed on his ass. He's just going to sort of backpedal.
Yeah, because as soon as the bullet entered its body, it released its grip on you.
I think
So it only had you
backwards, scooting
for a
backwards is
second?
half move.
Yeah, it would be cost a 2 for a back move.
All right, so he'll get there.
The creature, again, makes this unearthly sound, and it spins around to train its maw on Duncan.
It will not accept this.
And it's going to try to take a moment to figure out what the hell has happened.
Right. So this is going to be the second round of Unready. Though it's saying 1, it should say 2. I feel like Luke Skywalker in Return of the Jedi trying to get the lightsaber.
Okay.
Or Han, rather.
What there was a minus that you guys mentioned earlier. What is it? Is it from distance?
Yeah. Range -5 plus 3 size mods, so -2 to hit it. You just lift the rifle and go bang.
Add your accuracy.
No,
because you aimed.
Only if
Yeah, and
only if
burst.
she actually aimed.
But
Yeah, she aimed
she
last time.
hasn't aimed it. No, she didn't. She had just finished her movement to get into position.
Yeah, I took aim. Right? 'Cause-
I recall you saying you took aim.
Yeah, she took it.
Apparently, she took aim.
I did. Okay, hopefully I've got all this stuff in the modifier list right.
That looked
History
like
was
it was going to
made.
be better.
Wow, well done.
Okay, so 1 hit.
Well, it's not like a musket has a rate of fire. That'd be pretty
Yeah.
awesome, though.
Now she gets to reload.
Yeah, no, it's like now you like toss the rifle inside. Although 19 damage, that's pretty. Ooh, PI plus too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's going to feel that apparently.
Yes, he does. So because he doesn't see the shot coming and wouldn't know that someone was aiming at him, Abby, you lift that rifle, you fire, the hammer drops, the gun kicks, a massive amount of black powder smoke roils out of the barrel, and the musket ball flies into its backside, smashing through its metallic side or metallic-ish side, and again blows out the other side of it, spraying the trees with gunk and goo of a strange and smelly nature.
Okay. Well, so I'm going to do this first. Okay. He has succeeded his IQ -2 roll to remember that he's got a loaded musket in his hand.
Hold on. This thing is this thing considered living? Unliving,
hard.
homogeneous, diffuse?
It's well, ask your question.
Because that was a PI plus. So if it's living,
Right.
that means anything that got through the damage reduction is doubled.
Right, that was PI plus, correct?
Yeah, on her big old rifle.
Now, the musket that I am currently holding is the one that Nathan gave to Newt. So I need that. I believe you could put it on the party sheet and I can just drag it off of there.
So, Nosh, if you look at the Fantasy Grounds rule set on Discord, I put some tools, chart things that I'd spun up when I was running that might be of use as well.
Excellent. I wasn't wrong in my description. That ball blows through this thing, and again, goo spews out the other side of it. And give me 1 second.
Long land pattern musket.
Right.
I want to see what that is.
Your musket, sir.
Oh,
that's the brown bess. Okay.
The creature stands like an oak, a true oak. Takes the shot.
That's a big old frickin' round too.
Mr. Ronke, are you there?
Yes,
I need your weapon.
my weapon.
The musket that you gave Newt.
It was a Kentucky rifle, so
Just stick it in the party sheet.
well, I don't have that because that was That was Enoch's rifle.
Oh.
Yeah.
I did not know that. Well, then I
So
will
that's
get my own.
There is a
What
bunch of
caliber
weapons
is
in the
this?
items, so if you go to the range
Well,
thing in the
now
items,
that I know that that's the case, is the Kentucky not in here? No, that's right. I don't have the Kentucky in here because that was too late for Sea Dogs.
well, I have a Kentucky rifle.
Oh, do you? Okay. Then let me borrow that.
I can give you the stats.
Well, just
So
put your rifle in the party sheet. And I'll grab it from there.
Here's a thought. Bronchi, go to your inventory and drag it
Oh, make a second
on
one.
there. Make a copy, and then move the copy into the.
Yeah, but that's not
party
going to work because this is the rifle as it is off the import, so it doesn't have all the rifle stats and stuff.
Okay.
So
Does it not?
it does not. But if you pick up the Charleville,
What's the closest?
if you pick up the Charleville, that is the closest stat-wise. The damage is
So be it.
4d minus 1. Piercing...
And
just
it's
piercing
not
plus.
working. Wait. Do I need to? Is that the problem? God damn it! I just realized I screwed up earlier. All right, what did you say it was?
Don't screw it up. Charleville.
The Charleville.
No, I mean, what did you say the damage was?
4d minus
PI
1
plus.
piercing plus.
-1.
Yep, -1 piercing plus. The accuracy is 3.
That will not
And
matter.
all the rest of the
You
stats
can
are
leave
the
the
same.
rest. All right. Okay.
Actually,
so
no,
now that I have
the reload time is 60 instead of 40.
Yeah, so it's like fire once and throw it on the ground.
Not necessarily. It kind of depends. But anyway, so
In this case, fire it once and then maybe club the tree with it.
You might have
on,
speed
Shouting
load.
timber.
on Duncan's turn here, he is going to realize that he is holding a Kentucky rifle and raise it to fire. So I will be doing a ready. Shouting insults at the tree.
Scottish insults.
Nathan will ready his rifle.
The creature will make a health check. Just succeeding and stays conscious.
Well, does the tree have high pain threshold?
You're damn right it does.
Okay, then it can ignore shock and gets a +3 on consciousness. Is that right? I can't ever remember.
To avoid knockdown and stunning, you get a +3. And you never suffer shock. Yeah, you never suffer shock. It's hard to subdue, that's hard to knock out, which it has.
Right.
Okay, so the creature, give me one
Doesn't like
moment.
those boomsticks.
The creature spins to look at where that last shot came from. It is obviously very disoriented.
Wow, it didn't retreat.
And it grew bigger.
Sorry about that. In these 1 second time frames, it's really just responding to the reality of what's going on.
Yep, that's always a problem. So this is going to be round 2, technically round 3 of going into round 3 of the weapon unready. So I think he's got a hold of the weapon, but he has to draw it. Don't know what it is.
All right, so Abby is going to step back with Clara into cover, like into that tree that kind of right behind her, and try to hide Clara as best she can and leave her rifle with her before she kind of moves back out. So
Well, it's not like you can actually see the results of your shot with all that smoke.
yeah.
Well, if you leave your bandolier, maybe she can reload it for you.
Not to mention the fact that the tree you push her into just moves and eats her.
Bad. Okay, so she'll do that. She'll kind of tuck Clara behind that, leave her with her rifle, and yeah, she'll go ahead and give her ammo pouch and powder and stuff as well. So that'll probably take up her entire turn.
Well, wait till Newt realizes that the tree that he's in is getting farther away from this.
Okay, so Abby, you're going to basically take a kind of a step and retreat back.
Yeah, probably more like 1, 2, 3, like kind of there where she'll kind of hide Clara, make sure she's out of sight.
Sure
And
thing.
then she'll start moving around this way and get ready to start kiting this thing around while everybody else wails on it.
All right.
Snap, boom. Let's see. So at this point, I just need size mod.
What kind of pistol did the frog have?
That's a good question.
I suppose I could just use the default military pistol.
Wow.
Malfunction.
Oh,
Okay.
this will be sweet. You don't have luck, do you?
No.
This is
Nope.
awesome.
So, snap, nothing.
Is there a critical fail, a malfunction table or something?
I don't
Did you
There
not load
is.
those?
thought there was.
Yeah, there should be.
Actually-
Did
Yeah,
you not
there's
load
one.
those?
Firearm malfunction table. I tried to drop it in chat, but it didn't work.
Yeah, only the GM can do that.
Misfire. Yeah. Yeah. So the flint struck and it didn't light.
As it sometimes happens with these things.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's annoying.
Well, now we're not as worried about the fact that their uncle was waving that around at us, because apparently it wouldn't have done nothing.
To be fair, it might not actually be loaded.
That would be hysterical, wouldn't it?
So it's a +3 size modifier.
Yes.
So I'm at no range penalty. Is there any penalty for shooting from the ground?
I don't think so.
I don't believe there is.
No. Newt, I dropped a pistol in the chat if you want to use that.
Okay.
All right. Nathan is going to fire. I'm just going to add accuracy. I didn't aim, but the accuracy is the same as the size modifier.
Well done.
Oh, nice roll.
Snap, boom this time.
And that's times 1.5, correct?
Correct. And then I guess I will scoot away 1.
What's the caliber on the Kentucky?
The .75.
Why is that not a plus plus?
Sorry, 0.45.
Yeah, okay, right.
So, Nathan, you fire again, the big crack of the rifle going off, the smoke blowing forward. Your ball blows through yet again. Uh,
Nathan
I
didn't
think-
reload.
Never mind.
So that ball blows through its torso, and again, you just hear this unearthly scream of this creature, and goo and some strange material just flies out across the woodland tree leaf on the ground. And the creature remarkably does not fall.
There is nothing in that link that you sent.
No, it had parentheses in it, so it fails to parse that properly.
And it sort of lumbers off in this direction.
This is probably a mistake, but sure. I threw in the bad footing because, well, I've probably got bad footing. But with bad
Why not?
footing and the range and the size mod, it looks like I may have actually hit success by 1.
It looks like you did. And from behind, no dodge.
Krakow, jolly good. Which ping doesn't even get through his DR probably.
No. So the bullet smashes into its body and kind of just melts into a mush of lead.
Okay, so she is going to move a little bit and then ready her hatchet.
Oh, it's probably got a phobia of hatchets.
And I think that's about what she can do, because isn't ready like a whole turn?
Well, you do a second ready.
Yeah. Well, shite.
Well, you still have the pistol in the other hand, right?
Yeah, but I already fired it.
Then you should throw the rifle at the tree.
IQ-based
gonna-
rifles roll.
It turned its back to me. I'm just going to run up to it and smack it.
Dude, it's gonna
Actually, I'm going to have to re-ready
you.
it probably.
It's gonna kick you really hard. You're gonna go sailing past me.
All right, he's two-handing the rifle. He's gonna swing it at it once he gets there.
Nathan's going to change posture, getting to a knee.
For the record, with the items, I have a category of items on there called alternate use. If you need to, for example, swing a long arm butt at something.
The creature is now clearly just wanting to escape with its life.
Retreat!
But it is so wounded, it's only going to make it that far.
Plus, it might be needing to make health checks every round.
That hard to subdue is hard to beat.
Oh yeah. Well, there's not a lot I can do at this point. I can't. So I'm gonna slowly start climbing down. No, actually, this round he's probably going to be sticking the expended pistol into his belt.
Okay. She's going to try to chuck her hatchet at it, just because.
Come on, critical hit. She absolutely needs to be the one that kills it with a hatchet, so she can, mock Nathan even more.
Oh, her throwing skill is terrible. Oh dear God. No. Actually, can I retro? It's like,
Of course.
nope, out of that. I didn't realize her skill was so bad.
I just think you critically fail and the hatchet goes into Nathan's head.
Yeah, don't throw it.
Okay, so instead she's going to start moving towards the others. Actually, no, she's going to stay close to Clara. She's going to stay in cover and just kind of wait to make sure it's not coming towards their hidey hole.
Quite possibly wondering, what the hell is that?
Yeah. Okay, give me a sec.
Don't you run from me. Let's see. We'll go ahead and do the heroic charge, I suppose. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, we'll call it there. Fatigue. And the baseball swing. Actually, you know what?
Telegraph that. All out. Oh, wait, you can't all out strong.
Yeah, well, I was just thinking I probably can. No, I wouldn't be able to because I only get half movement. Yeah, that's the best I can do.
You can tell telegraph since you're coming from behind. Increase your chances of hitting.
No, well, I mean, my chances are pretty decent as it is.
+4 makes them even better. It's not like it can dodge it.
True. Well, here we go. Anyways. And I've successfully hit a tree with a rifle butt.
Now, this is where I have to retcon something, but I'm only going to do it on this attack because this thing has 360-degree vision.
Oh.
Go.
So I am going to attempt to dodge, but its dodge will be very, very low because of its wounds.
It should just be at -2, typically.
Oh,
And half move dodge.
Yeah, half move, half dodge. Yeah. So let's see if it does it.
It's a tree.
It basically needs a 4 or less at this point.
Don't you love that?
And it fails.
Right.
Because it's, trying to lumber away.
Whack.
All right. So about 5 points get through.
Wow.
And that's when the gun goes off into your belly.
That would be awesome.
Since this thing looks like it's running away, Nathan's only desire at this moment is to sort of run away, get to his sister. So Nathan will be out of this immediate combat.
You guys have a suspiciously close relationship.
Mm-hmm.
She's all I got in this world. Or in the new world.
It continues to stay conscious and lumber away, but it's heading towards, ironically, the direction of the cabin.
Ruh-roh, Raggy.
Mm-hmm.
Whether by design or whether by just the fact that that's the direction it's lumbering. I'm going to just say we're going to keep moving it, not off the map, and I believe Duncan will have every opportunity to keep whacking at it.
Yeah, and you can probably click on the little arrow to skip Newt because I can't do anything. I have to climb down out of this tree, and I don't want to fall on my face and die horribly.
Yeah, I guess this is kind of over. Given
Other
that,
than Duncan, if you can
yeah,
keep
Duncan's going to
whacking
keep
at it.
chasing it down and whacking at it with the rifle butt until it stops.
And so,
Crazy ass Scott.
yeah.
I've got a reputation to uphold.
Yeah, I don't know what else we can do. I'm kind of stumped here.
Reload.
So I think Abby is going to go find some like brush, like something that might make a good, I don't know, like a torch or something, flaming stick. Try to light it on fire.
How about a little
And then-
fire, Scarecrow?
And then start trying to chase down the creature with a fire.
Kill the
Because
Chlorophene.
Why not?
Yeah, so it's probably going to continue on for probably about another 10 to 15 seconds, and then I think by that time it'll lose its battle with its health and just fall down. And in all that time, Duncan just keeps wailing on it. The poor thing, just is beyond measure of comprehending what's going on, and eventually will just fall down. And you eventually follow Duncan to see this Scotsman just hammering on the damn thing. It's fallen down and is disheveling into some strange, like rotted log that just seems to unnaturally dissolve into the ground.
Everybody's going to end up hearing another really loud crash over here as I shove the French corpse off and it falls to the ground. It's just me. Pay no attention to it. Well,
So we'll call-
not me, it was the Frenchman.
We'll call this combat done.
Duncan looks back at everybody else, looking at him, and says, "Whose rifle is this?"
Nathan's probably in shock and just going, "What the fuck did I just see?"
A chlorophene. This entire place region is swarming with them.
Oh, what?
I'm just making something up, man. I have no idea what that was. It was apparently a walking tree. They didn't cover those in, well, actually, I didn't go to medical school. You know what?
So,
This calls for a drink.
So as the body hits the ground, Newt, you see some pages of a book sort of falling out of the other pocket or inside of the uniform or the jacket.
Well, there goes the truth. Oh, I thought it was going to escape. Those that spew and have purple must be purged. Right.
So the book's entitled A Fatalist Purge. The name of the author is scratched out, but it's filled with various writings and glyphs and drawings of monstrous skulls, all very occultish. There's a handwritten passage at the front of the book that's written in French.
Well, then that's good toilet paper, I guess. Exact description of the most heinous crimes men have wrought against nature once they have turned their soul to cowardice and avarice. That's interesting.
It's probably about this time that Nathan realizes maybe his uncle isn't all that mad.
No, he's still mad, but he might have a point.
So the tree creature is good and well and dead. What do you do now?
I'm gonna slowly climb out of the tree.
You said it dissolved.
Yes, it's truly well and dead, and it's dissolved kind of into the ground and smelly, goopy mess that's left behind.
I don't like this one bit. I think we should get out of this place. We should leave.
Duncan is kicking at the leavings a little bit and then looks at the rifle and says, I think I broke this.
Well, victory is ours.
He starts fiddling.
Huh?
He'll start fiddling with the rifle, and then a few seconds later, when everybody's sort of moved on and talking about what to do next, you'll hear a boom.
And Abby, Clara, she's I don't think she even realized just what transpired with all the gunshots and screams. She's just not altogether in the moment.
Yeah, I figured. So she's going to check on Clara and retrieve her rifle stuff and Clara, and then go over to Nathan to check on him, make sure he's okay.
Fine, but we need to go.
About what time of the day is it? Is it getting on towards evening, or is it midday?
I think it'd be early morning.
Yeah, I mean, you arrived in the morning and you had your talk with all of that transpired, the search, et cetera, et cetera. So we can say that it's pushing towards the middle of the day.
Is there something I can roll on to check the goo that's left to see if she can kind of get some kind of understanding of what the nature of it is?
Yeah, I was
Ooh,
looking
that's
naturalist, but I don't.
yeah. I mean, that's a really good question. It's
icky goo.
yeah, it's icky goo. It's nothing you've ever seen before. I don't know, what could you roll against to try to understand it. It's just so beyond your ken. How's that?
Okay, thank you.
Hidden lore is probably the skill you'd use.
Yeah, alas.
Duncan threatens a couple more trees just to be safe.
So to Nathan, Abby's going to say, what do we do with Uncle and the Frenchman?
I say we cut the Frenchman loose and we take Enoch with us.
Point. What if he has been infected as well? I mean, he does have that big bite.
Clara, overhearing you, says, well, there is the boat.
Oh, a boat. That's handy. Where would the boat be, ma'am?
Wasn't somebody talking about a boat earlier? Was it the Frenchman and his ramblings?
Well, he was rambling about ships of stone, and they weren't working.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking the same thing, but yeah, ships, boats, whatever. I'm not in the Navy.
So the Hudson goes to Fort Edward.
The Hudson does go to Fort Edward.
Well, near to Fort Edward.
Yeah, near to Fort Edward. And then Fort Miller and so on.
It's suppose that would technically be a area knowledge.
No,
Just cause.
I think it's pretty. All those forts are stretched along that river.
Success by 5. Well, that's a pretty good area knowledge.
Well, this, and I'm assuming the river that's on this map here, is that the Hudson?
Yes,
So it's kind
the
of
river that you
smallish.
see- Yeah, the river you see outside the Fenmore settlement, and then just curving all the way down through those forts is the Hudson.
I think we should take the river. It'll get us to oh, damn it, Fort Edward.
All right, we should possibly take both of them if we can. Turn them over to the people, let them deal with it maybe. I don't know.
Awesome. We're
just
going to
gonna
infect
take a
an
drink.
entire army.
Outstanding.
So Clara says, "Yeah, we have the she calls it a wherry boat, spelled Wherry, which we've used to transport furs."
Well, I don't
Um,
care about the Frenchman, but my uncle needs some help. If you want to take the Frenchman, fine.
Dude, you totally missed an opportunity to quote Predator. He's your baggage. Yeah, so where is the boat normally located at? Does anybody know how to use a boat as a PC?
So
Nathan
Clara-
does.
Yeah, Clara points over to the edge of the river.
Well, I'm gonna meander over there while sipping from my flask because what the hell was that?
So Clara
While
points to that area of the river and says that's where the boat normally is.
Well, Nathan will look over the boat, and assuming it's sound, he'll say, "The boat's sound. It will be good.
That's
Someone help me get it in the water."
So you go to the boat,
I don't
and
think it's gonna be sound then. Just
You-
GM going. You get to the boat. And
yeah, you get to the boat, and you see that its hull has been shattered by axe blows.
Well,
Is it sound?
strike that.
Looks like
And-
somebody did.
Yeah, somebody did strike that. Now, anybody got carpentry?
Nick's 9 on them Pomfrets.
I actually do.
Nathan does as well.
Well, there might be some tools in the whatchamadoohickey shed for carpentry.
Was that an area knowledge roll? Oh, there we go.
Gee, that took a while to come through.
That
It
did
sure
take
did.
a while.
Wow. Okay. So both you and Nathan, Duncan and Nathan, take a look at that. You could repair this. It could be repaired in about 3 hours.
I can fix it. It'll take
At
a
a-
while.
At a rough guess, would the time we take to fix it still mean it's quicker to get to Fort Edward via boat, or if we just started walking now, would we, get to
No,
Fort Edward?
You'd make better time in the boat because the river, you just won't have as many obstacles
How far away
compared
is
to
it?
walking.
All right. Duncan, I can help you.
All right. Well, we'll start working.
And I will add that as you are overlooking that boat and such, you do realize that there is
A monkey?
a rather large beaver dam that's sort of sitting there. Can I get, I mean, if you're going to continue repairing the boat, can I get from one of you, or perhaps if you want to work together, we could say that you each get a carpentry roll at +1, but I'll need 3 successful carpentry rolls
At +1.
at +1.
So in the meantime, while they're working on that, Abby is going to leave Clara with them and ask Newt to come with her to the cabin to start gathering some supplies and stuff that we'll need for the trip, like cloak, some food, and that kind of thing.
Brandy.
Good stuff. So what I'm going to say is it takes you about 3.5, almost 4 hours to get this thing into saleable condition.
Which means the sun is probably getting a little bit low.
And I'm waiting for the next shoe to drop, like, an attack of Frenchmen or attack of Indians or the
Well-
Frenchman inside, his head's going to explode.
French
Or
Well,
he's gonna turn into a
trees.
thing, yeah.
Well, funny you should say that, because
Oh, no.
yeah, because as you finish up the repairs on the boat and feel, this is river worthy, you begin to hear drums in the distance.
Drums in the deep.
Anybody have soldier?
Oddly enough, I
Yep.
do not.
Nathan does.
Nathan, you definitely identify that, both you and Duncan identify it as a military drum. But the cadence is chaotic and random, so it's not like a soldier's beating it.
And it's definitely, I assume, not French or British to my knowledge.
No, you can't quite distinguish that. And by the beating of it, it's no drum beat you ever heard a French soldier or an English soldier ever make.
Sounds like the drummer is pissed.
And let me just show you.
Do we have a direction?
Oh, you do.
It's going to be all around us. Here come the predators. I mean, they do have dreadlocks, so.
You can hear that drum is coming from the northwest, kind of where Clara's grave was. And it's getting louder. And suddenly, Rigobert seems to leap up. I don't know if he's still bound with his hands, but he leaps up to go to the door of the cabin to look, and he sort of has this anticipation in his eyes.
I'm pretty sure that we left him bound.
Yeah.
Pretty sure you did.
I
They
was
mostly
voting
come
for
at it,
tying up
Mostly.
Mostly. And so, are you going to be moving from wherever you were repairing the boat? I don't know if you pulled it up close to the cabin, or we're repairing it at the skinning shack.
Depends on how big it is, I suppose, but I'm presuming we're going to want to get it close to the materials and tools.
Well, let's say that you did pull it maybe between the skinning shack and the house, if that's agreeable.
Probably reasonable.
That way the
I'd
attacking
say there
guys
somewhere.
can attack them,
Sure.
burn the boat.
So as you stand there kind of pondering this beating sound of drums, you do see figures coming through the trees, and they're being led by an indigenous man. And this is who you see.
Hope he's not cut a ship of stone.
you see about 8 or 10 of what appear to be non-Indigenous men. Could be British, could be French, coming through the trees, and they're mostly covered in a purple paint of some description. They're being led by this person. And the
Dun, dun,
Pur-
dun.
purple painted men are armed. Some have muskets, others have bows.
I do believe we're going to have a siege.
And the indigenous man has what looks to be like a long rifle, but a war club strapped to his side. And I think we will leave it at that.
Dun dun dun.
Mhm.
Is he the last of the Mohicans?
Possibly. Possibly. But as they come sort of to the tree line of the property, he holds his hand up and he kind of looks in your direction, and he holds his hand up and
Flips us off.
he calls out to Rigobert and to Enoch. The time has come, my friend. Come with us, and we will show you the infinite smile of Zada Hwara. And if anybody has occultism or hidden lore demons,
Wow, that's an option.
is it? I don't know.
No, I mean on the NPCs, because it's like I'm gonna start looking askance at somebody who's like, "Oh yeah, I've got hidden lord demons." It's like, dude, what have you been doing?
Occultism could be skill defaulted at IQ -5.
Can it? I thought. Okay, I know one. I know hidden lore can't.
No, hidden lore can't be, but occultism can be. If you want to have a long shot, go for it.
Yeah, let's see. Okay, IQ -5.
Let's crit hunt.
Apparently, I wasn't brought up in Salem.
Nathan's mind explodes at
Come
hearing the
on,
name.
big money, big money, big money, big money. Damn it,
No.
big fracking denied.
So as with
Fail
all
by 2,
things,
a critical fail, a fail by 1. Wow, now I'm starting to wonder about Duncan. If he
As
wasn't
with-
absent mind, he's like he failed by 1, so he's like, that sounds vaguely familiar.
No.
As with-
And then he's forgotten.
as with all things, it's
Oh,
just a weird name that makes little to no absolute sense to any of you. We'll just leave it at that.
Yeah. Okay. So cool. That was
Fun.
pretty cool.
Yeah, thank you.
We
So
any
is
points?
Let's everyone get 2 points. How's that?
Apparently, Nathan
What,
has
all the
43 unspent.
Right, I think a lot of us are like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it was just originally the 150, but
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly.
So, how many points?
So 2 points.
Okay.
Find something to do with it.
And
Looks like one of us is going to be
climbing.
voting.
at this point, you tell me, when do I do the outro, or do we just have a little bit of chat before we go to the outro?
Well, if we had any business to take care of, we would probably do that. And I don't know that
So
we have anything.
we're gonna pick up Sea Dogs next week, and then pick this up again during the breaks, whenever that is.
At some break point.
Gotcha. Cool. So I guess you could do the outro now. I was hoping for a Vincent Price AI outro. Super disappointing.
We'll have to discuss that later. But here's the
host.
Here's the outro. Here it is. I hope you have been sitting comfortably and enjoying this little trip into weirdness. Who was your favorite character today and why? And what was your favorite scene? Check out the entire collection of free RPG adventures like this one at www.oneshotadventures.com. If you have questions, corrections, suggestions, feel free to leave a comment here or find us on Discord. Please consider liking and subscribing to our YouTube and Twitch channels. Thank you for watching. Olympus out.
Peace.